Hello,
Yo,
hello.
yo, we're back. Yo, the eggs are back in town. Yo, what's going on? Yo, we see Lost Tales in the chat and Booming Bob. Yo, hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back.
Yes,
Welcome back. Yo, Grae, how are you doing?
good and good.
Good. So, all right.
Finally adjusted back to Philippine
So,
time.
so sorry about that chat. We weren't able to make it last Saturday because Grae was probably still on a flight. It's an
Yeah, I was.
18-hour long ass flight.
Yeah, it was already evening, Sunday evening. So right now it's Sunday morning. I arrived back home Sunday evening.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely couldn't make it either
All
for
right, and we
previous
have
Sunday.
Dave in the chat. Hope you guys are having good. What's going on, Dave? Hope you're doing well. All right, so all right, so how was the meetup for you? Right, we didn't get to talk about it last week.
Yeah,
There was a lot of shit to that we did, and how's the meetup for you, man? Like,
yeah, it is okay. Probably if there's gonna be a next time, I'm already better prepared and better equipped. Because
mhm.
I was expecting like they were all in a panel, not like you were gonna rotate to each of them. So I was when remember that person who made me cut Gary's line to the front. I
Oh
didn't know
yeah,
what to
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't know what to say to Gary. I was like, I was just my mind was so blank because I really didn't know what to ask him. He was like, you wanna ask me something? No, 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 no. Bullshit.
No, no,
No,
no.
I don't know. I didn't know what to say because like all this is your video. I really really like your videos, man. It's like oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
But
I believe
yeah,
I believe I'm not sure if it's on Facebook or not Facebook on Instagram or anything like that. No, I think it is on Instagram, but I'm not sure if it's on Twitter. He actually made like a slideshow of all the people he met, and you're in one of them.
oh really? Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
I
see
believe
that.
it's on Instagram. I'm not sure if I can find it. Let me see if I can actually find it really quick. Uh, Nerdrotic Instagram.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't expect you'd be able to meet them that personally. I thought like you just get to see them in a panel, then you get to handshake them a little bit, and that's it.
No,
I
yeah,
did.
it's not that kind of. I don't think it was because I've seen some footages before of them just what's it called again, like like previous years and stuff like that when they had it. It was just like just hung out. They just hung out. Just it's wild. So let me
Yeah,
see if I
yeah.
can find it. I believe it's a video. I don't think it's that one. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Is it this one? Let me see.
Yeah. We got
Uh,
so many we got comments from a lot of Filipinos ever since they said came all the way from the Philippines. Then it's
Yo,
like,
you
oh,
crazy man. But, hold on, let me see. God, I don't ever use Instagram on my PC. God, I have to log in order for me to even look at the video. Okay,
yeah,
I can't log in. I don't even remember my
it's
password.
fine. Wait, I,
But
I
yeah,
can probably look for it in some later time.
yeah.
I,
So
I,
it's so if you have Instagram, there should be like 6 video. It should be like him, like a bunch of pictures of just like a slideshow of boom, boom, boom. I think you're in one of them, so it's really cool. I'm glad you
oh,
were
okay.
able to meet Gary like Gary, like sort of like just like you and Gary having like alone one-on-one time with one another.
Yeah,
But
the
that's
funny
awesome,
thing
man.
with these personal meetups, I kind of realized like the webcam can be so deceiving on what you perceive them to be in real life.
Uh-huh.
Like for example, I expected Ryan and Gary's height. I expected them to be the opposite. I thought Ryan was the taller guy, but turns out
Oh
just
yeah,
Gary was and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Gary's
It's
a
like
little taller.
wow.
Yeah, I think Gary's like 6 feet or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's
yeah.
about same
He's
height as I am.
taller than you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The-
Like I believe he's a little taller than me because I'm like
and I
5'11". Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought Krista was really tall.
No,
No, no,
Rista and
no.
Steph
She
are
looks tall in
tiny.
her webcam. She looks tall in her webcam. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyway, that's my point. It's like when we seeing them in real life, it's like a whole other story.
yeah.
And
And but yeah, let's see. We got Hooligan. He say found you guys on FNT. Shout out, happy to catch you live. Yo, thank you so much, Hooligan. Thank you so
yeah,
much
thank
for
you.
stopping by and hanging out. But yeah, we have Alec Baldwin's finger. We were able to meet him at
Meet him,
at the
yes.
meetup. Yeah,
Nice to
he was
meet
wearing
you.
the yeah. I didn't know what to
Yeah,
say until
yeah,
I was
yeah.
standing in front of Gary too. Yep.
Yeah. Same thing to you actually. It's like I was. Oh, who are you? It's like, then you said Alec Baldwin's like, oh, it's you.
Oh, dude. Oh,
You.
but yeah. Yo, we have Jay. I can't thank you both enough for all the encouragement and support. Yo, and congratulations on the 100,000
100,000.
on Indiegogo. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Big congratulations. But what's it called again? Yeah, I believe he's gonna be closing out his I think the campaign, I think on Wednesday or something. So if we can share, if Lost Tales can share the link in the chat, that'll be great. Thank you so much. But yeah, 100K, that's awesome. That's big. That's huge. And now all we need is for Jay to get 100,000 on subscribers on YouTube. So that'd be great. So I'm pretty sure everyone
Yeah.
here is already subscribed to Drunk 3PO. If you guys haven't
Mhm.
already, go ahead and subscribe to him. He's probably the most down to earth guy.
Yeah.
I met we met him at the meetup, and he's super nice. And
Yes.
if it wasn't for Jay and his charismatic vigor, like we would probably never have been known to anyone. Probably
Yeah.
saw like one or two viewers. But thank you so much,
Yes.
Jay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I mean, I never would have imagined either. Like, if you told me last year, like in December, like you're gonna meet up the folks at Geeks and Gamers in person. It's like, what have you been drinking, man? I kind of want to have some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Thank you
we
so
have we
much.
have people rolling in. We have yeah, Nosmer Unlimited egg roll duration and have a podcast. But yeah, that's yeah, it sort of became a meme, and but we love it. Like whenever Jay and now like everyone from the Geeks and Gamer, even Gary and some people at FNT just start yelling egg roll, it is
Eggroll, yeah.
freaking awesome. Yeah. Yeah, getting your shirt was a highlight in Vegas. Yo, getting to meet you and everyone else was a highlight for
Let's
us.
highlight.
It
Yes.
was it was insane. Like and the fact that I remember Grae saying that like he's never thought like he'll be able to actually attend something like this. It's and you know, I never thought that I was able to meet Grae in person.
Yeah. Yeah. I was. The funny part is when we first met, it was my mom who recognized you and I didn't. I, I because you went out of your car, you were wearing black sunglasses and a black mask. So
Mhm.
and you were the first thing you did was to throw your trash from the car. So
Yeah. I was like,
is
shit,
that
man. Fuck, I forgot to throw my trash. And we have like it
is
was great. I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure it's tidy up. But his mom is out here. I gotta clear out everything from the trunk. And I was like throwing a bunch of like shoes in the back. But yeah, I was able to actually get the Welcome to the Rebellion on 9 Line apparel shirt. It came in like a week ago. And yo, I love stuff from 9 Line. So this is awesome. And let's see. Someone asked, do you guys play tabletop games? So I I'm not a huge tabletop guy, but however, I actually play a lot of tabletops, not a lot of tabletops. But whenever me and Dave, he's in chat, and whenever we meet up and we hang out, we play a lot of like Zombicide. I believe we played it was like a Ragnarok game. I forgot what it's called already. And we played a bunch of like there's like a Hollywood game that we played recently, and but yeah, we've been playing some tabletop games with him, and we really are enjoying Zombicide. Zombicide's really fun. So I've been playing that. But yeah, Grae, do you play tabletop games?
not really. I don't really have the most probably Monopoly.
Mon-
Yeah, yeah.
Monopoly and Guess Who. I used to play that. I used to play Guess Who all the time when I was a kid. But let's see. Imagine telling your past and and you get a shout out on FNT. Yeah, it's wild, man. It's super wild. It's like the funny thing was like I remember Jay or someone, yeah, Jay came up to us and we was like, yo, I told Gary that like there's a guy who came up from that was from the Philippines, and then he's like, where, I want to meet him. And I was like, and that's why when that guy like told you, he's like, oh, let's go cut the line and meet Gary,
Yeah.
right? Because I think everyone is actually waiting for merch, like buy merch and talk to
Yeah,
Gary.
yeah, buy
But the fact
merch.
that you were able to get to cut in front of line, that's really cool that you're able to meet him. I meant like D&D. I've never actually played D&D. I actually do want to try. I know that Dave, I'm not sure if Dave is a big D&D guy, but D&D is like it's super like role playing and like you make your own
Yeah.
character and stuff like that. I've never done that like very like
Yeah, me too.
in-depth style of tabletop.
Yes, he
But yeah.
is. You're fine.
Okay, yeah, you're big into D&D. All right. So yeah, so we might try it out, but the thing is that whenever we meet up with our friend or there a couple of friends too, and they don't want to play any new games. They only want to like play the games that they already know. They don't want to learn anything new. They just want to sit down and play games we already know. Because like usually when we start up, like especially a newbie like me or like my wife or anyone, like it takes us like an hour to an hour and a half to set up and get to know the rules, and it takes a long time.
Yeah,
But
true. That's true.
yeah, play the older versions first. Okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot because okay, I got to be honest with you. After watching the most recent season of Stranger Things, when they did the whole D&D thing, like I was like, okay, I actually sort of want to play D&D is because of that. So we might, yeah. See, dude, I have a board game room. You know that? Yeah, yeah. You have a board game room. That room is actually pretty sick. He literally bought like Dave actually bought like a legit like board game table, and yeah, he has like over 400 games, and like more than half of them aren't even like unboxed yet. They're still in the shrink wrap. And he
Wow.
was like, I just leave it. He basically just go on like Kickstarter and you go and just backs them. And he's like, oh, I get a new board game. But there is a new like expansion for Zombicide, which I'm super excited for. So that's actually really, really cool. Let's see. Our other friends aren't that big of nerds. Yeah. Yeah, they are, but it's like they're very picky. They're very selective. But but yeah, man. Uh, Grae, it was fantastic getting to meet you. And
Same.
you okay? So I believe they do have like a meetup in like Houston or something like that. But like I believe they're trying to get one in London or something. That'll be a lot
I
closer to
heard that.
you. That'll be way closer to you, right? So like you can so
Yeah,
like
way
I'm pretty sure
closer, but significantly far.
wait. So
Still,
how would you go? Do you have to fly around or do you just fly
I think it's the
directly
same.
towards?
I think it's the same. It's the same.
Mhm,
But it's just that yeah, it's a lot shorter, but it's still quite long. And
mhm.
I'm not sure. I think they're planning it to be around October,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I have my own trip in November with my cousins. That's the thing. So I might not be able to make it on that one, if ever. Maybe next
Uh,
year. Who knows?
yeah. I would say like it should be like a yearly thing that where we can actually meet them, and it could get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I don't know, like
Yeah.
I believe I was watching FNT most recently, and someone asked, "Have you ever thought of making like a convention, like a Geeks and Gamers convention
Yeah, I
slash
heard that too.
FNT convention?" And like that does sound like a lot of money. Like you have to make a lot. You have to like there's a lot of like things you have to rent out, and a lot of people you need to get, and there's a lot of like I think leasing issues or something like that. But I don't know. If it becomes something that big, then I'm pretty sure they will have like a panel. Didn't they go to like MegaCon like a month ago or something? And
Yeah.
they had a panel, right? I believe
They
it
had
was
one. They had one.
Ryan, Jay, and Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah. So yeah, if it's something like that, like a little bit, it'll be a little bit more like more. I'm saying it's not organized. It's more like structured versus this one is more like you just hang out. And I did like
Yeah.
that feels because you actually get to know them
No,
on a more
you get to
personal level.
legitimately talk to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
I
yeah.
know better now. I'll be more prepared actually next time.
No, you're good. But like, you mentioned you're more like one of those like introverted folks where you just like
Yeah.
hang out and not say anything. For
Yeah,
me, yeah. Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
not the
Sorry.
kind of guy who's gonna go jump into a stranger and unless it's I don't know. I rarely do that. Like, as I'm really bad at interacting, especially if there's super loud music.
Hmm.
Like I'm not the kind of guy who wants to raise my voice incredibly high just so I
Hmm.
can talk to someone. So that's also part of that.
Well, for me, I think you did good. For me, like I prefer to be introverted, but if I need to talk, I will talk.
Yeah,
Right? It's also sort of
for
like
sure.
on that level where it's like, okay, if you need to be introverted, you're gonna be introverted. But if I need to be extroverted, then yeah, then I'm like, okay, if I need to talk to people, then I'll talk to people. But yeah, you did a good job, man. And I'm definitely looking forward to next year's. Hopefully, we can meet again, and I can see you next year for that.
Yeah, maybe even longer next time.
Yeah, I will probably plan it out to stay a little longer. It'll be nice. But um, see, I have the stereotypical loud American voice. This is for like usually like yeah, I think it's just like we're just really loud. People who grew up in America just very very loud in general. And since you're from the Philippines, the majority of the Asian culture, they're usually more like reserved, right? Usually like oh not to be
Y-
not don't be that loud, don't be obnoxious. You know, a lot of Hong Kong people though, like Chinese people, the Hong Kong people are fucking loud. Okay, like the regular
Yeah,
people from like mainland China, they're not that loud.
yeah, because honestly, I'm from an upbringing where uh any statement you can make, your parents are gonna find a way to tell you what you're doing wrong. That's why. It's like
Yep.
it's better to just shut up. Honestly, I know
Yeah.
my mom could be tuning in right now, but yeah, that's the truth of it. It's like
Yeah.
the reason why you'd rather just keep quiet because they're gonna find something. They're gonna find something to say that, oh, you should be doing this, not doing that. Trust me, they're gonna find a way, no matter how hard you try. So
Yeah. My
you better just keep quiet.
Yeah, my mom is a tiger mom. So like so you know, I guess it's a good and a bad thing that I didn't grow up with her, but like seeing how she was with my two younger brothers and sort of how she was to me when I was in high school, she would be like, "Why are you playing games? Why would you say that?" And then she'll be like, smack me in the back of the head. Don't say that in public. You know, zip up your, zip up your fly. How dare you? Sit with your legs. You know, don't eat like that. And so you're embarrassing me. I was like, oh shit, dude. Oh, but it's great is because it's like I learned a lot of etiquette from her. Like like my sister had she had to attend an etiquette class, right? How to be as a female, like how to become a proper woman. It's sort of like I wouldn't say as crazy as Mulan, the animated movie,
Yeah,
but it's more like she was because like my sister didn't have any like proper formal upbringing of how to like be ladylike and how to be feminine because like we had divorced parents. So when my sister was in like early high school, she like had to like take those etiquette classes, how to be a woman, how to eat properly and stuff like that. And my mom did that with me, but more in a personal level where she taught me how to do it. It's like, this is how you're supposed to eat. You do not sit because I used to sit like this, right? I used to sit like this when I'm eating. I'll sit like this, like with
oh,
my leg and then my arm on my shoulder. And my mom's like, "What are you, a fucking hobo? Are you a homeless person? Only homeless people sit like that." I was like, "Oh
yeah,
shit!"
yeah.
He started yelling at me, and he's like, "You have to learn how to use a chopstick. You're Asian. You have to learn." I was like, "I don't want to." It's like, "I know I use a fork." It's like, "Nah, what happens if you go to China and there's no forks there?" It's like, you're gonna embarrass me?" She was so mad. So like she taught me like how to like eat properly. I like an American Western dining and like Eastern dining. So like if you're sitting in a table, you have like let's say you have like three sets of utensils on each side, right? You're supposed to eat from outside in. So like you're supposed to grab the fork and the spoons from the outside and the fork from the spoons from the inside and the fork from like you sort of move inwards. I'm like, okay, and this has to be here, the cup has to be here. And then I was taught that if I was with an older person, like I will always like whenever we go have dim sum, like I will always have to make sure that like I top their tea off when we're eating dim sum. Like even though their tea is already full, I have to like do like a little splash to show respect, right? Just
Yeah.
respect your elders, and it was crazy. And my dad never taught me any of that shit because my dad came here when he was like 15, 16, and he grew up in Burma. And so he never really had like he was never like super proper or anything like that. He just like did whatever he did. But my mom, it's all about face, right? It's an Asian thing, right? It's like all about face, especially Chinese people. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you gotta save face, It's like
Mhm.
you have to drive nice cars because if you don't drive a nice car, they're gonna think you're a piece of shit and you're broke. So you
Mhm.
have to look good. Like, even though you don't have money, you gotta look good, right? You gotta play the
Mhm.
part.
Mhm.
So I that was that upbringing for me. And so if my mom was like watching this, she would have been like, "I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
stop, stop, stop,
True.
stop the stream now." She'll come into my she'll message me and you'll be like, "Stop the stream now."
True.
But yeah, but is your mom like that? Is your mom like a very like tiger mom, kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
super strict?
kinda, in her own way. I probably should elaborate more. She's probably
She's
watching.
watching
She's
now.
probably watching
Sorry,
it.
Mama Grae. Let's see. I went to a Valley Forge Military Academy, so I have to do formal dining class. Yeah. So it's I remember one time, like the only time my dad ever corrected my sister on how she sat was my sister sort of had her legs like open. Like when she was like watching TV and she's like lying down with her leg like this, like her legs like this. And then my dad turned to her. He's like, I'm gonna use my dad's accent. He'd be like, "Hey Kelly, why you sit like that, man? What kind of girl are you? What kind of girl? No girls sit like that." So then she looked at you like, "What the fuck?" So she had to sit down all properly. I felt so bad. My sister was like 8. She was 8 when that happened. It was so fucking funny. Yo, Epic Mike, what's going on, dude?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, yo, what's going on, Epic Mike? How's it going, man? If you guys haven't already done so, go subscribe to Epic Mike and the Epic Verse
Mhm.
coming along. I saw some of the, I guess not screenshots, but like some photos that you guys are doing with like Beardo and like Jake the Viking. That's super, super dope. But thank you so much, dude. I hope you're doing well. Um, your parents available to tease Jay?
Use a spoon.
Wait, weren't we on like I was listening to Tuesday night's main event or something like that, and didn't they say like Jay was eating like applesauce in bed, and like one time he woke up with a spoon?
On his back. Yeah, I was there too. I was there too. I was tuning in
Oh
too.
man, dude. Oh man, I'm dying. Oh man. Hail Epic Mike. Yo, living the dream. Yo, yep. Dude, thank you so much for stopping by, man. I know you're a busy
Mhm.
man. You're a busy guy making all your stuff. And I'm sorry that I remember that one I wanted to say this to you, but so usually when I'm the one who usually donates through Project Eggroll. So like it's because it's linked to my account and stuff like that. But like I remember you were like talking about something serious on Tuesday night's main event. All right. Like you're like, yeah, man, this
Oh
is
yeah,
really
yeah.
hard. And then I super chatted. I was like, why do Asian Chinese why do Chinese people like Apple products? Is it because the best gifts are the ones your kids make for yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you hanging out and stopping by, dude. Um but uh so your mom, does she watch the stream from time to time? She does, I'm assuming.
I know she does. I don't know if it's live or the recorded one, but I'm not sure if she's watching now because I know she
Mhm.
just woke up. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe or maybe not.
Oh man.
I'll
So
probably find out when when we when we tr- when we turn off the stream.
yeah. Oh, that's 100% Jay spawn. You guys are awesome. Oh yes, because Jay starts snickering, right? He starts going like
Yeah, I think Jeremy did that on purpose.
he's like, Jay, what's so funny? What's so funny? Oh shit. Oh man. But yeah, I love hanging out and like the TMNE and like Friday Night Tights and you guys playing Mario Kart. It's super, super entertaining. And it's just like I said, and like Grae said too, like if it wasn't for Jay, like we would not be known to anyone other than probably other Chinese people and Filipino people.
Yeah,
But
not probably not even Filipino. Probably not
yeah.
even.
But all right, uh, so we have a couple things that we're going to be talking about today, chat. So on the itinerary, we're going to be talking about some of the writer strike stuff. There's some stuff that's going on with Kotaku that I do want to talk about.
Mm.
I do want to talk about the Matt Walsh thing and the Jeremy from the Quartering. I do want to talk about that with the whole like he thinks that like anime and like video game people who play video games like degenerates or pieces of shit. I do want to talk about that. And Grae sent me this article last night from Hype. It was like, so if you guys didn't know, Amber Heard moved out of Hollywood. She moved out of California, right? I believe originally she's from Texas because I actually watched the Johnny Depp trial. And she was from Texas, and then she moved to LA, right, to become a movie star. And then I guess now she moved to Spain, if I'm not right. Did she move to
Mhm.
Spain? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. There's another article that's linked to it, so it's actually pretty funny. But we also did watch Guardians of the Galaxy volume 3, and I know Grae already watched it, but I watched right before the stream started. I just finished Peter Pan and Wendy, and
Okay.
I have a lot of things to say about it because it's stupid. It's very stupid, and but yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the writer's strike. That's still happening right now, right? Like how long is the writer's strike or is going to be going on for? Do you know? Like I don't even follow
I
like Hollywood or writer stuff anymore.
I don't. They haven't reached a consensus, so it's gonna go for quite a while. But
Okay.
what makes it incredibly interesting is that now of all times, like it would have been more appropriate like a few years ago,
Mhm.
not now when not after the not after pandemic and after streaming services have reached a saturation point. Because
Mhm.
back then, there was a shit ton of venture capital money. So it's like, let's get into streaming. Let's get into streaming. Let's take Netflix's market share. So it was on the peak. That was the good
Mhm.
time to actually negotiate for a better salary. But now
Mhm.
that all these companies are starting to realize that streaming services are, yeah, it's not really a profitable endeavor. They're all bleeding hard right now. So
Mhm.
that's the time they choose to negotiate for better compensation. And it's not like most of them are writing good stuff anyway. Most of them are just woke garbage nowadays. So I'm pretty surprised that they have the audacity to be able to try and do something like this. But then again, it's also affecting some late night shows, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the
Like,
thing is
yeah,
that with like the late night show with Jimmy Fallon, and I'm pretty sure the James Corden show got canceled, and what's it called, Trevor Noah and this piece of shit or John Oliver, and I the thing is that I know they have writers, but how bad are you? Because they're supposed to be as like Jimmy Kimmel, right? You're supposed to be a comedian. Why do you? If you're a comedian, you should be able to write your own shit, right? Why do you need writers to write
yeah,
for you?
exactly.
But but the thing is that we technically don't need writers in Hollywood anymore. Do you know why? Because we have Chat GPT.
Yeah,
Chat GPT can do that shit for you. It's like, write me something funny about Asians. He used to be like, and it comes up like the family guy comes up. He's like, you doctor yet? He's like, Dad, I'm 13. Talk to me when you doctor. But all these things like video games, like the company I work for, video game companies, and a bunch of other these big corporations, like I'm pretty sure Facebook, Google, whatever, they're already using Chat GPT to write code. So you technically don't need engineers anymore, like software engineers. All you need is maybe like one or two people just to fix the code if it's like not really working properly. So instead of hiring 10, like software engineers or coders for your company, you only need like maybe two, and then you just use Chat GPT. Same thing, right? And same thing, you can write scripts. And I heard people at school, like even like elementary school, middle school, high school, or even college, they are using Chat GPT to write their essays. Like, you don't have to
yeah,
you don't you ChatGPT is basically taking over the world, and we're already going over to ChatGPT 4, right? So, this is from Bounding the Comics. Writer strikes already improving American society as late night propaganda shows shut down. Yeah, this is basically all propaganda, right? You have, who's that piece of shit that was, that took over Jon Stewart? Um, Forgot his name already. But there's another guy. He basically did the whole thing with vaccine. He did like a vaccine song or some shit like that. Like, it's everything on late night's propaganda. It's because everything on late night it's like left extremely like hardcore left leaning, right? So the Writers Guild of America announced they went on a strike beginning this morning, and the strike is already improving American society as all the late night propaganda shows have shut down. That's fantastic news, right? Like a lot of these people are normies, the people who indulge these shows, right? Either SNL, late night with Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or whatever it is. A lot of them they are normies because I used to watch Jay Leno, I used to watch Conan O'Brien, and I will watch all of these, and it's like, oh, it's funny, it's funny, it's funny. But the thing is that if they start pushing these propaganda, people are just normal people. It's like, oh, I don't know, Jimmy Kim. I watched Jimmy Kimmel. I watched Conan O'Brien, and they said, Trump is bad, so I'm going to believe that Trump is bad, right? So it's definitely propaganda, and I'm glad it's stopped. But the thing is that they usually stop for like about like 3 to 4 months, and then they come back and then have new shit. I'm pretty sure this will start ramping up when election season starts coming in.
yeah.
Yeah.
They do all the even here, even it's
Yeah. Yeah,
people
it's
go nuts during elections.
yeah, right here. Yeah, that's fine. Stephen Colbert. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. He used to be really cool, and then all of a sudden he got like super, super woke, right? Yeah, writer strikes, nothing of value was lost. True. Yo, what's going on, Danny? How's it going, man? But let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and read this one as well. The Writers Guild of America was announced that the strike has began this morning. I'm writing on the Twitter. The board of directors of the Writers Guild of America West and the Council of the Writers Guild of America East, acting upon the authority granted by them and their memberships, have voted unanimously to call for a strike. So why are they doing the strike? Right? Like I think is it because they suck at writing? It's like they running out of talent or something? Like what's
Yeah,
the actual true reason for
they
this?
want they want better compensation. This
Don't they get
Paru
a shit ton
audit.
of money already?
Yeah, exactly. Disparu has a new video. I think just came out a couple of hours ago. I watched the entire thing. He has a
Mhm,
breakdown of what they wanted. It's like which ones got they reached their which points got a middle they reached a middle ground and which ones
mhm.
was outright rejected. So it's still an ongoing discussion. So it's still this will last quite a while. But yeah, what,
What?
what I'm hoping for is the woke ones get filtered out.
Yeah, I hope, right? It's
Yeah.
like I remember I believe Dave told me because he mentioned to me, and I'm pretty glued into the animation and games industry. According to what I know, I believe Rough Draft, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Rough Draft recently unionized part to be part of the animation guild, and I heard they got like let go. Like all of them got let go. Right? Let me double check my sources. I don't want to like misspeak, but let me see. Let's see. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, Rough Draft comp team decided to unionize. Today, they just got to notice the entire team was fired. So Rough Draft, I believe those were the people that was behind Simpsons, like OG Simpsons. I'm not sure if New G Simpsons is a
Oh,
part of it, but OG
okay.
Simpsons. So that's pretty fucking big, right? So if you have a company like that, oh, we're gonna unionize, we want more pay, we're just gonna let you guys go, right? I believe there's like a writers, like there's a company I believe in New York City. I believe 2 years ago, they were like, "Oh, we want to unionize. We want to unionize," and then all of them were let go the following day. It's like, "Okay, you can unionize," and then they all got brought into like a board meeting, and all of them took a picture to like, "Oh, we finally unionized," hashtag unionization, fist, bro fist or whatever, or vagina fist or whatever, or since it's all girls, and then literally that meeting was to fire all of them, right? So you got to know when to hold them and fold them. And all these people are just like, we got to continue. We need more money. We need more money. It's because California is too fucking expensive. No fucking shit, man. $15 an hour for a minimum wage, working at fucking McDonald's. Like there's a Jack in a Box near my house that's paying like 17.50 for like a cashier. It's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. Like
Yeah.
my starting was like 6.50, when I started.
Yeah.
So
Even last year when we went to the US2 last year, every I think every almost every fast food branch we went, there's like a poster, we're hiring. There's like you can see
mhm,
$16 an hour, $15 an hour, even 17, like you said, $17 an hour. So
yeah.
and I think the Sparrow broke gave a break. That was like I think their median was around the six digits. These
Yeah.
writers, they make a lot. They make a lot of money.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, Dave corrected me right here. Yeah, they're Futurama and Disenchanted. Man, I love Futurama. God damn it. That
Yeah, yeah.
sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, this I never watched Disenchanted, but I heard that was like the new stuff, the new Matt Groening animation for. Man, that sucks, man. Let's see. You see, minimum wage in Cali is 15.50. It's 15.50 now. Jesus, right? You know what they're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do? They're gonna be like, all right, we got 15.50. No, you know what? It's not enough. We need $25. And then once I was like, all right, let's move it to $25. And next thing I'm gonna be like, you know what? That's not enough. You know what's better than 25? $50, right? And the thing is that let's say for the high paying people who are like in their journeyman roles, right? People who are like in like doctors or people who are like mid-level to senior levels, they're getting paid maybe okay. A good example is let's say a junior artist at a studio maybe gets like $20. Okay, like that's the medium. Like when I started, I got like $20 an hour. But like if you're like a senior or like a veteran, you get maybe like 25 or $30 because of based off of your experience. But let's say then you have the minimum wage people who are getting like 15.50. What happens if they go to $20? Do the people above or who are working those other jobs like an artist, will that base artist, entry level artist move up to like $30 now? And then the senior artist moves up to 40, right? And then the cost of living goes up. Inflation, gas prices,
Yeah.
everything moves up, right? Food,
Everything goes up.
right? You could even find like a fucking carton of eggs like 2-3 months ago, like so does everything move up? Typically, no, they don't. They stay the same. So why the fuck would I have to work at a place where like like I work my ass off to finally get to a place. Why don't just like I spent like over $100,000 on tuition and going to school. I'll fucking just go to McDonald's, work $20 an hour. I'm pretty sure the next 2 years is gonna go up to $20 an hour, right? Might as well just work at McDonald's. So why do I need to work my ass off working for a company? No, but it's a dream job. You're doing art, but I can do a lot less mindless work working at this place. It's like, and that's the reason it's called minimum wage for a reason. You're not supposed to be able to live off of minimum wage. It's so dumb. And like, I'm pretty sure like these writers guilds and stuff like that, they're like, oh yeah, we want more money. You know, I'm making $150,000 as a writer. I want 180 because I can't afford my other yacht. I can't afford a yacht that I can put my other yacht into. It's like, you know, I'm pretty sure do people at like McDonald's go on strike? I'm pretty sure they don't, but they're just like, oh, we want more money, we want more money. So I don't know, man. Like, do you Grae, do people in the Philippines, like, do you ever hear like strikes and stuff like that happening there?
Not through it's usually the more public service jobs rather than the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
Because private sector, that's usually behind closed doors, or they negotiate with their employer. That's how it usually goes. It's usually the jeepney driver, stuff like that. That's usually go, because that it's more like a government mandated uh thing. It's like it's regulating the prices of on a per ride basis. Those are usually the ones that go on strike
Okay.
here.
Okay. Let's see. Some Bridget. Actually, I saw a political ad for raising the minimum wage for nurses in California. I think nurses should get paid a lot more.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
think nurses. I think nurses and anyone in the medical field should get paid a lot, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm fine with like nurses getting paid, you know, like starting salary at like 60, 65, but that's like a lot. Like when I started going to school, and then my dad like, hey Philip, you gonna go to college? I was like, yeah, Dad. He's like, okay, what you go to college for? And I was like, art. It's like, what? Stupid. Like, why you fucking go art when you can go make pharmacist? You could do pharmacist. You make a lot of money. And this is like maybe like 15 years ago. And they basically wanted us to my dad wanted me to become a pharmacist because I can make $60,000 a year. Right. So if I can make $60,000 a year, but that was like 10 years ago. So hopefully, or maybe the pharmacist should make a little bit more money. I don't know, people in medical field, but let's see. But in my opinion, I think doctors should get paid a little bit more. But like but the thing is, doctors, nurses, like they should get. According to what I heard, they should get 50,000 is very little though. Like because if you're talking about $25 an hour, right? Overall, so that's about $48,000 a year. That's prior to tax, right? So that you're still going to be that's a lot. That's a lot, right? See, veterinarians
Pets
make great money.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
vets are awesome, right?
and people pay for their pets because
Yeah,
they love their
true.
pets.
See, but out of all the jobs that are like medical, the people that make the most money right now are I might get canceled for this. Are the hormone replacement therapy doctors.
True.
Right. But what's it called again? I give me a second. I think someone's at my door. I for some reason someone's at my door. So go ahead and continue chatting. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a first for me. I'll go back to just talking about my experience there. So my meeting Phil. So yeah, it was I was so jet lagged when we got to the US. Like Phil got to meet Jay in advance. So what happened was, like, I was supposed to meet Phil already the night before. But what happened was I was so tired in bed that I ended up falling asleep while texting him. So and by the time I woke up, it was like an hour and a half after. And I was talking about we were supposed to meet um what was that, on Tuesday, but I fell asleep. Then you didn't, yeah. And you didn't. If only we both communicated to each other that I'm actually really nearby, then I would have met you earlier. That's
Yeah.
what I was trying to get
See,
at.
the thing is that I thought you were at Circus. Like the fact that
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
literally next door. You were literally
yeah,
next. So you just like you came down in your pajamas like, fuck, I gotta meet them.
yeah. I would. That's why I would. That's why I messaged you. Should I try to catch up? But then it didn't register in my mind that you thought that I was at Circus. So I should have mentioned that I'm just
Yeah.
nearby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're saying that we actually we got to meet. Cool to see you guys both meet X-Ray Girl. Yeah. It's like so. The thing is that she bowed to me. I'm just like, am I supposed to bow to her? I was like, should I? I was like, I stuck my hand out, and then I hear Jay, oh, it's so cool they bowed to each other. I was like, okay, I'm gonna bow to her. But yes, yeah, Eggrolls super super cool. Yeah, she's super cool, like really really nice. So she's like, oh, you guys should do more like anime reactions and stuff. And I think we are going to be doing that in the future because she's like, oh yeah, I'm really into like I'm really into Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, and Attack on Titan and stuff. And we told her, it's like, oh, you should watch, because it's Grae's favorite right now. He's like, you should watch watch and read Spy Family, right? But yeah, I think initially I think we were both, me and Grae, we talked about this before. We're like, oh, should we talk about anime here? And then I think and also when Alec Baldwin's finger, like he mentioned, like it's cool to probably like have something that's a little bit more niche to you guys, right? Like of course, like we're talking about as a whole, pop culture, media, entertainment, movies, games, but like we don't talk about anime too much. I think we made like 3 or 4 videos, right, Grae?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, on anime. And I think we will eventually branch out to probably talking about anime. I think once I think Spy Family is coming out later this year, so I think Grae is going to be talking about that. And it'll be pretty cool though. It'll be pretty cool. Um but it's uh it's definitely cool meeting everyone. Like we were able to meet like Quarter Black Garrett, we met Ryan. But yeah, I was actually able to meet like Grae mentioned, I was able to meet the Geeks and Gamers crew. Like I didn't know I was actually gonna meet Jay and like the Geeks and Gamers crew that night on Tuesday, like
Yeah.
prior to
Came
the event.
unexpected.
Like I just messaged Jay. I was like, hey, I just Grae's here now. I'm here. See you tomorrow. Have a great night. And then he's like, yo, do you want to meet? I want my shirt. I was like, I was looking at time. I was like, it's like 8, it's like 8:15. I was like 8:15 p.m. And he's like, can we meet now? And I was like, I can get there by 9 because I need to charge my car. And he's like, all right, cool. And then I went to go, like, I basically went to the link, which is like across the street, charged my car and drove across the street to the Mirage where we met. And I met, and then and you see like Jay's like 6'4", he's pretty big. So I'm like, oh, like I saw him. He
Yeah,
saw
he's
me.
big.
He's like, Eggroll! He started screaming. He started screaming, and I was like, oh shit, So I brought my shirts, and I gave Jay his shirt, and then I was like, cool. And I was like, are the other people here too? And he's like, yeah, they're actually out getting food. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, oh, they're actually on their way back, and they're actually live right now. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then he's like, oh, let me take a picture first. I'm gonna go to the, I'm gonna go put on your shirt. So he goes away, he puts on a shirt, and he comes back, and then he takes a picture. And then when they came, Beardo was filming, and he drive an electric car.
Yeah, he does.
Nice.
I wrote it. I wrote it.
Yeah, but what's it called again? I'll tell you why I got an electric car. I'll tell you why. It's I have both a gas car and an electric car, but so I met them, and then I can tell, like, right after they're like, oh yeah, cool, we'll see you guys next time on and then it went offline. Like you could tell Jeremy was tired. Like he was like, fuck, like I was met
Yeah, you
everyone, gave
mentioned.
everyone their shirts, and he said that like they drove like 30 hours, like 35 hours or
Straight
something.
with just a little break, right?
Yeah, like I
It's
think like
crazy.
Jeremy probably got like at most like 2 hours or 3 hours of sleep max, like in that 30 hours of like wharf drive. And Jeremy, like I asked, like, did you guys switch off? Like did Jeremy like get allow you guys to drive? And they're like, no. Like Jeremy drove the entire way. I'm like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, dang.
What a freaking beast. I'm like, that's nuts. And so it's and I asked Jay, wait, would you ever do it again? He's like, no. He's like, no, I'll never do it again. And I also asked Krista too. Like Krista, I was like, would you guys do it again? She's like, no. He's like, 6, like it was like it's like me and Steph, and then 4 guys in the car. And then there's like no showering for like 3 days. It's like, nah, probably not. So but yeah, I was able to meet them, and it was quick too. Like I got there around 9, and I chatted with Jay for about 20 minutes, and then the other guys came in around like 5 minutes later, and we talked for maybe like 15 minutes, and then like I was messaging Grae. I was like, I'm meeting them. I'm meeting them here. And then like I think by the time I heard Jeremy's like, yo, I'm fucking tired. I'm gonna fall asleep. And then and then that's when I think Grae called me, and then I was like, hey, are you guys still there? I'm like, yeah, we're still here, but like they're leaving soon because Jeremy's super fucking tired, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh damn it, I fell asleep. I was like, oh, no worries, dude, you'll see them tomorrow. But yeah, and I think it was like a little bit more of like a more personal touch. Like I was able to meet them. But the thing is that it was sort of the same thing at the meetup. Like, yeah, of course you didn't spend as much time as with them as you would if you were meeting with them personally. And
Yeah.
I initially was like, oh, I want to buy you noodles because they go to like a ramen shop like after the meetup. But the thing is, Krista, Jeremy, and Jay literally said, yeah, after the meetup, we're immediately gonna be driving to LA for Universal. I was like, what? So after the meetup for like 5 hours, immediately after that, you're gonna be driving right away. He's like, yeah. I'm like, holy crap, that's crazy.
Mhm.
So like they left, and then I was like, it's gonna take. It took them around like 3.5, 4 hours to probably get there, and they had a hotel there. I'm like, and then immediately after that, they drove back after Universal because they have to do FNT. I was like, you guys are
Wow.
crazy, dude. But yeah, so we have Mr. Michael Quaid in the chat. Yo, thank you. Yo, what's going on, man? I charge my Lexus with gasoline. Okay, so so we got this one from Alan Voss. He has you drive an electric car? Why are you gay? So the reason why I have an electric car, I have an electric car was because when prior to COVID, I would drive 3 hours to work, 3 to 4 hours to work one way, and there was a lot of gas, right? We have to gas up the car every other day, so it was a lot of money. And we needed a new car during that time, right? And we had a hybrid before, so it wasn't. It's like, yo, we're already driving so much, and how can we get from point A to point B, and we can save money and we can charge at home. So we ended up getting an electric car for that, and it definitely did save us. I think it saved us like about $700 a month from
Oh,
going
that's a lot.
to
Yeah.
gas to
Yeah.
electric, which is
Yeah.
good. But like I'm not relying 100% everything on electric, is because if shit hits the fan for some reason, like the fucking EMP hits, fucking Skynet comes down and takes over the grid. I still have a gas car to get the fuck out of there. But let's see, how long does the battery last? My question. So I have an older Tesla, like an old one. So I didn't buy it new, so I'm not like rich or anything like that. Like I bought an older Tesla. So like it was in 2000. Like I bought it in 2018. And the one I bought, it was like 2015. So it's a lot older, and it's not full price. It's not the big dick, like freaking go ludicrous mode or Tesla Plaid. It's a super basic old one. And I have the second lowest tier battery. So at maximum charge, which is 100%, it's like 216 miles. But it's not recommended for you to charge all the way to 100%. They recommend you to charge to 80. So I have about 189 miles. But the thing is that if you floor it, you turn on AC, it uses more charge, and then there's also battery degradation. So, it's like a lithium ion battery under your car. So it takes a long time. And it also takes a long time to charge because it's an older one. The newer ones takes like 15 minutes. My car to charge like 60%, it's like 40 minutes. So I'm literally there sitting 40 minutes at the fucking Tesla supercharging station. So yeah. Oh, you mean the lifespan of the battery? I heard you have to change out the battery every 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Right? It's because it degrades so bad. Like you can potentially get like maybe only like 150 miles charge, which is gonna be pretty shitty. But yeah. But yeah, dude. All right. So it's Grae. What do you were you sort of listening or going on like Twitter to seeing what's happening between Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire and Jeremy from the Quartering?
I've heard a little tiny bits of things, but I didn't really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna need to be oriented with what's actually happening or keep brought up to speed.
Okay. So this is also from Bounding the Comics. So this happened, I believe, this past week, and so this is what the headline says: Matt Walsh triggers Jeremy, the Quartering, Hamley, with Christians' teachings about moderation and discipline in regards to video games. And he also said this to anime. I believe, in short, or if I'm paraphrasing or if I'm misphrasing him, I'm sorry for that. But he basically said, like, if if you watch anime and you play video games or something like that, you're basically, it's like anime is like satanic, basically. If you watch anime, you're satanic. And they also talk about, how they depict little girls, and they could potentially be like pedophilic.
Mhm.
Like, there's a little girl that looks like a 10-year-old, but I'm actually a 1,000-year-old fairy, so technically it's fine, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's see. A Daily Wire host Matt Walsh recently triggered YouTube personality Jeremy Hamley, aka The Quartering, after he shared pretty basic Christian teachings on moderation and discipline in regards to video games. Walsh tweeted back in March 8th, 2018, video games are a sacred cow because our country is filled with adults who are obsessed with them. That's why we all pretend insanely that there's nothing wrong with our disturbing about a child spending all day killing people in a virtual world. So what? Before I continue, what are your take on, like, what do you think about this?
It's nothing new personally. It's that some people are quite outspoken, especially here. It's more prevalent here in my opinion that video games are perceived to be for children or immature, stuff like that. It's like it's not uncommon for you to hear that, especially with adults. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not surprised that there's that kind of take,
Mhm,
especially they're probably gonna bring up like the old days, like they're gonna bring up GTA, they're gonna bring up Manhunt, games like that. But yeah, they don't really understand what it means to be to us who actually legitimately play a lot of video games, and
mhm,
how it actually how it how it reflects in our day-to-day life, and how it really yeah, they don't understand that there are many aspects in a video game apart from apart what they perceive it to be, and what
mhm,
they because of their they're so strong in their own beliefs that they give prejudice to video games, which is it's very very common even in 2023. It's still
mhm,
a super it's still that misconception or that stereotype that people who play games are immature or they can't make it in life and stuff like that. It's
mhm.
not uncommon for you to hear that, so I'm not surprised
Yeah.
essentially.
Like my aunt and my mom, they're saying that like the actual translation, what my mom would say is like video game is turning your brain into mush. Right. It's like it's the video games is messing up your brain. Video game is ruining your life and you shouldn't play it. It's like go outside and or you should be, my mom would be like, stop playing games. You should be studying. You should be studying. I'm like, I'm a D student, right? I
Yeah,
ain't no A plus Asian. Right?
yeah. So, I mean, if I were to justify it now, it's like nope. It's like if I'm gonna justify it today, it's like um m- my employer doesn't give a crap if I don't memorize the parts of a volcano. Stuff like that, right? Because you trust it's like elementary, high school. Yeah, it's fine. You get to learn a lot of things about life. But the reality is when you get to college, when you start working, a lot of them don't matter.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I know that can be a hot take, but a lot of them don't matter. A
So
lot of them don't.
before I move forward and read the article further, I think that it's up to the parents to decide whether or not how much video games they should play, right? I get it where he's coming from, right? If you're like playing like if you're playing a bunch of games that you're just killing people or something like that that has no like actual like beneficial value to your life, I understand. But the thing is, some people, that's some people's way of escaping like what's happening in the world. Like escapism is
Yeah.
very important. You're either gonna find it in video games, or you're gonna find it in like anime, manga, TV shows or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And I do agree a little bit where he's coming from, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but the thing is that you can't just blatantly just like blanket state like every gamer is a piece of shit. Every person that watches the anime is a pedophile. Like you can't just say that. And that's where he loses a lot of the younger mindset, right? The people who are younger, like people who are, millennials or the Zoomers, or maybe some people in that's Gen Xers. But it's you got to be able to know like how much video games should your kid play, right? It's ultimately up to the parents' decision on that. And if the parents are letting their kids play as much games as possible, it's not the game's fault, right? It's the parents' fault. It's sort of like if you're gonna, grab a gun or grab a knife and kill someone, whose fault is it? Is it the knife's fault? Is the object's fault? Or is the person who's controlling it, the person who's
Yeah.
wielding it, the person who's wielding the controller, playing, Call of Duty all day, right? So it's you got to sort of like know the balance between how much your kids are playing, how much not. But if you don't give your kids a lot of time to sort of have this escapism, by the time they do have the option when they're adult, they're gonna sink all their time into it if they get exposed to it, right? It's like,
Yeah.
or you have like, oh, if I'm not allowed to play games, then I'm gonna like fucking play a shit ton of games as an adult, and then I'm gonna be a piece of shit adult, right? You got to give it to kids in moderation.
Yeah.
But let's go and continue reading
Agree.
this. Yeah. Back in October, Walsh also asked in an all access QA session what's his thoughts on anime were. So here it is. He answered, I think it's all satanic. I have no argument for why it is satanic. It just seems that way to me. All anime to me seems weird, just bizarre, creepy. And in general, I don't think adults, whether it's anime or any kind of cartoon, with rare exceptions, adults should not be watching cartoons in general, I would say. So I think that's where he also missed the mark, right? It's what anime are you talking about? Are you talking about like Dragon Ball? Like that's the OG, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. Are you talking about like fucking Attack on Titan? Or like are you talking about La Blue Girl or like Bible Black? Like what are you talking about? There's such a
Hmm.
wide range of spectrum. And I
Hmm.
I posted this on Twitter. It's like there's like two communities that you don't attack, right? First of all, like anime is like hard no. You do not attack anime fans. That's a very, very good way for you to lose them as a supporter, right? And that's the reason why I believe uh Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers said this is why the left is winning, is because you are basically scrutinizing everyone who plays video games, everyone who watches anime, right? I'm pretty sure Attack on Titan doesn't have any of that. Like, it's actually a very like good anime where it allows you to think. Or if you have a person that unless you're watching like fucking Bible Black all day and like watching like gothic hentai and shit, like yeah, that's like don't fucking watch
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
satanic, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to see where he's coming from. But the anime thing, it's like there are actually really, really good animes that has like good values, right? I think Spy Family is really, really good, right? It has
Hmm.
a moral compass for values on how like, how hard parenting is, and it's just a feel good anime where it talks about a mother and a father raising a daughter that's trying to go to a nice school that
Yep.
they happen to have like they happen to be spies and superpowers. So I think it's very like it's a good way to lose your fan base. What do you think about
Hmm.
the anime stuff?
Yeah. It's a take that's for the very minority
Hmm.
who only watch that kind of anime, or who's dedicated to watching that kind of anime, which is, yeah, it's definitely not good for sure. Kind of like
Hmm.
watching hentai all the time, which is obviously not good. It's like,
There's a ton of us.
yeah.
There's a ton of people.
Yeah.
I'm saying not a ton of us, a ton of people, chat.
It's
But
like it's like yeah, you're generalizing everyone. Kind of like his take on video games. Like not all video games are like outright murdering people, outright condoning violence just for the sake of it. Because yeah, I mean, you know me. I play video games that are so story heavy. I
mhm,
stream games that are really, really story heavy. That's very deep in story. But then yeah, it's like it's hard to talk to these kinds of people to make them change their ways. It's just usually because also, a lot of people who don't watch anime or don't play video games tend to have this notion that they're more mature or more intellectual than people who don't. To
yeah.
people than people who do play video games who watch anime. It's like they perceive these forms of entertainment to be only for children. It's like that
Mhm,
was their upbringing. Like these are only for kids. If you
mhm.
if you consume these, you are not an adult. You are a man child. That
Yeah.
that's what that's why there's a lot of people who are like this.
Yeah, like I knew people who are like, "What were you watching anime? Were you a kid? What is this for like kids and stuff like that?"
Mhm.
And it's I think there it really depends on what the topic of the anime is, what the topic or genre of the video game is. And it's I think he's very out of touch when it comes down to this, right? Like he doesn't I feel like he's probably when he says video games, like, I don't know, Super Mario, Doom, like Sonic or something, he probably
Yeah.
can't name like like what's the most he probably can't name one like what's the most popular video game out right now. Like what's everyone playing? He doesn't know. What's the most popular like naming like 10 animes that everyone's watching right now? He probably doesn't know. Right? It's
Mhm.
because he's so out of touch. Right? It's
Yep.
because look, like like Jeremy said from Geeks and Gamers, like, yeah, Matt Walsh is extremely smart. I loved his documentary of on What Is a Woman. I loved it. He's extremely smart. He knows what he's doing, and he's always like, oh, how I believe he talked about how many people have you converted to conservatism or converted to become a Republican. I was like, there's a lot of people in the middle, right? And there's a lot of weebs and people who and gamers in the middle. And if you are trying to convert them over, you got to have some kind of value that they believe in too, right? May it be it's a religion or whatever, right? But a lot of people just love people and hang around with people that have common like interests. Like if Grae, if I never played Fire Emblem, Grae wouldn't have found me, and we wouldn't have
Yeah.
started this live stream, right? So
Yeah.
you got to have find some kind of like common ground. But let's say if once it's like, oh, I want to convert you into a leftism or Christianity or Satanism or whatever you are believing in, whatever dogma or stigma that you want to believe in. If they come in and all of a sudden that person is really like loves playing League of Legends, loves playing Fortnite, and you're like, oh, I think all video game is trash. It's like, whoa, dude, what the f, right? And if they just met you, and that's a very very bad message to send to a lot of the
Yep.
new people that could potentially be a part of your your circle or whatever,
Yep.
right? Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and read some comments. I know there's a lot that went on. Let's see. It's like, I wonder if he knows how much problem solving is needed in certain games, math, or in some cases, not to mention the team building skills and social skills they gain from interacting with friends. Exactly. I think World of
Y-
Warcraft, even though I know like it's like you're sitting at home, but I know people who've gotten married. I know people who like that's oh, I met my boyfriend through playing League. I met my girlfriend or husband playing World of Warcraft. Like they don't know that type of like, okay, it can actually help, and same thing with like solve problem solving stuff, right? There are games that actually like requires math, right? Fucking Hogwarts Legacy required math, right? So it's like you got to know like, okay, well, you got to know also teach you about physics. If we were playing Super Mario, you know about physics and stuff like that, right? You know how fast, it's all like algorithmic and it's all coded. So let's say if it wasn't for video games, I wouldn't be like, oh, I want to become a video game tester, play video games for a living. You can actually make a
mhm.
living. And now
Yep.
I'm like a lead artist at a gaming studio. Like it's like the interest as a kid, right? And the fact that he is basically condemning all of this as a whole is just such an out of touch person who's like doesn't know much like it's hard for him to convert a lot of the normies over to his side.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Matt actually helped to get some laws changed in Tennessee to protect children. Some people don't know that he shined up such a big light in certain places and is not just always for clicks. Yeah, I do agree with a lot of stuff that's happened in Tennessee because Daily Wires in Tennessee, right? So I follow like Brett Cooper, Michael Knows, fucking Jeremy Boring, and Ben Shapiro, along with Matt Walsh. I follow all of them,
Mhm.
and I believe they got like some kind of laws terms where like you can't like transition your kid anymore, which is great. You can't transition them when they're young, which is great. And you have a bunch of people who are fighting that, and I'm glad he's doing that. But it's going to be hard for him to have newer faces and younger people
Yeah.
who are in their who are Gen Zs, right? Who are more like younger that could be like converted to your side or whatever you want to call it. Let's see. I guarantee Matt Walsh couldn't even name a single anime. Yeah, he just talks out of his butt. Yeah, I think once if he sits down and he like plays a video game, he's like, oh, this actually has a really good story.
Yeah.
This has a very good moral. And
Mhm.
Speaking of video games with very good, story driven stuff, that's Grae. Grae loves that kind of shit, right? Like
Yeah.
you love good
Yeah.
animes and
If
and good stories.
yeah, yeah. If you check I know there's only 4 videos. I'm about to make five. There's only 4 videos in my channel, but yeah, a lot. I particularly like Japanese role playing games. So the latest video I made was for Persona 3. Yeah, that one had a really that's it. I know you just played Persona 5, Phil, but compared Persona 3 story, it's miles better compared to Persona 5. Because Persona 5, it's just basically kill the bad guys.
Mhm,
Especially didn't go the royal expansion. Like Persona 3 tackles the meaning of life. So that it's such a really heavy theme. So these are games that these kind of people perceive it, oh, it's immature, it's anime. Those are only for kids. But the messages in that game, it's like it applies so much in real life, which
mhm.
these people don't get to experience because of how close-minded and how superior they think they are.
Yeah. Let's see. It's from Alan. He's like, you'd be surprised how many kids want to go out into the woods and learn survival and good off. And let's see, but their parents don't introduce it to them. Yeah, I think a lot of people who are in the big cities, like people who are in like L.A., New York, Sacramento, San Francisco, like San Diego, all the big metropolitan cities, a lot of them don't want to get out and explore, right? And I think if you find a happy medium in between, you're like, oh, I want to teach you how to shoot a gun. So you know what to do when if you find a gun, you pick up a gun or something like that, or if it's a gun at home, you know what to do, what not to do. So teaching them at a young age on how to like survive, how to chop wood, start a fire or something like that, even something like that, and then and maybe when they go back home, to reward them, here's some video games. You play a little bit of video game, and of course the parents have to vet the video game. You're not sitting there letting him play fucking Senran Kagura where you're like massaging the girl's asshole, right? You're not
Exactly.
doing that. You want to
Exactly.
make sure they play like games that are actually
Yeah.
has
Y-
values, has a good story,
yeah.
right?
Even like The Walking Dead. Have you played Walking Dead, the Telltale game, the first
I
one?
played like the first one, but
Right,
I
right.
played it for
I mean,
like 30 minutes though.
oh yeah. I mean, I think you'd like playing that game, especially now, because like the premise is you're elementary teacher, I believe. Then you're
Okay.
you're in charge of taking care of a little girl called Clementine. So part of that's like teaching her how to survive, cut her hair so the zombies don't grab her, teaching her how to use a gun. I think you like the game now more than ever since
Yeah.
you have a kid now.
Yeah, shonen, sanin, hentai. I doubt he knows the difference. So shonen is Shonen Jump, which is the manga company. That sanin, the only sanin that I know is from like Naruto, and then hentai. That's probably like that's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the good stuff.
I can see Persona 5 comments in chat. But if you guys have not tried Persona 3 yet, I strongly recommend you do. It's
Yeah,
I made a 30-minute video out of it, and people were saying, yeah, it's probably the best video I have made. But I really appreciated the central theme of that game. So you're missing out if you didn't play Persona 3. Yeah, just
yeah.
wanted to get it out there.
Let's see. Walsh would later make it clear he was making an off the cuff joke about anime whilst satirizing Media Matters and the other outlets who ran his remarks as serious. He noted, "These are all the things that you might say if you believe that I was not being totally serious when I declared all animation made in Japan satanic. But again, I am serious. If I was joking, I would laugh. Deadpan humor has never been my thing. Yeah. So, um, I think overall, uh, it's definitely I understand where he's coming from, but it's definitely it seems like he's definitely out of touch, right?
Yeah,
It's
I I think he could have phrased it more like I think he's targeting those younger audiences who are too addicted to playing video games.
mhm,
That's how he should have framed it, not in a way that the way he said it's because he targeted everyone who consumes it. That's why. I mean, if he said like go outside from time to time, it's good for your health. That would have been fine. But because
mhm,
the way he said it, he targeted literally everyone, like even you and me.
yeah.
He's saying that.
Stupid gamers. Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's see what Jeremy said. The right's weird obsession with disavowing video games, anime, and social media is why they will never appeal to most of Gen Z. The base is literally dying off, and most of their voices in the community are actively refusing recruits. Matt's not the only guy saying it. There was some other moron who tweeted anime is for pedophiles or something like that the other day. I do agree with what Jeremy from the Quartering is saying. I believe that it's like, yeah, you can disavow like, like hentai games or like stuff that's like extremely violent for no reason and has no story, has nothing. You're just going around like just doing random shit. It's it's oh man, it's such a like the thing is I like the guy, but this is something I and this is the thing we don't agree. Like for me, like people will probably like if the left probably heard what I was talking about, they're like, oh, this guy's a fucking, fucking KKK member or some shit like that, right? It's because of like what I say. But the thing is that like I don't agree with everything like the right says. I don't agree with everything like fucking Ben Shapiro says or anything like that. But this is something like I'm like, no, you're attacking the wrong group, right?
Yeah.
You're
Mhm.
it's I don't think he's uh I don't think there is a lot of things where he will ever budge on. Like since he's so like his own values are so like cemented where he's like, I'm not gonna change my mind.
Mhm.
Right. You're not gonna be able to change my mind. Animes for pedophiles and video games are for degenerates, and it's you shouldn't play it, you shouldn't do anything. You should go outside and mow the lawn. Right.
Yep.
But yeah, it's it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, he's polarizing the wrong issue. Yeah, it's the parents, right? If okay, the fact that I'm a parent now, I'm apparently a parent. I'm not gonna let my son play video games all the fucking time. It's like, okay, did you finish your homework? Yeah. Did you eat all your food? Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else you need to do? No. All right, cool. You can play you can play games until like 10 o'clock. Like that's his reward. And you gotta be able to show like how much you have to say to your kids where saying, oh, I'm just gonna ban all of this shit is because I don't want you to do it. And then your kid goes to school, right? Your kid goes to school and all his friends are playing video games. All his friends are watching animes. Oh, do you see the most recent episode of Dragons, Dragon Maid or whatever? And it's just like, no, what is that? Oh, it's anime, it's so cool. And then he's gonna get left out. He's gonna come
Yeah.
home and he's
Yeah.
like, Dad,
That's
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I was yeah. That's super super common here in the Philippines. Like, back when I was a kid, I hear parents take pride that they never allow their kids to have any form that kind of enjoy that kind of entertainment, like playing video games or watching. And they brag about how they're like first honors in their grades and everything. It's like looking back at it now, it's like I'm kind of grateful that my parents aren't that way. It's like even though I have failing grades, all they wanted from me was to pass, but I still have failing grades.
Yeah.
But it's like you missed out on so much. Like at the end of the just so you can get a high grade, it's not worth it, man. It's like the first honor thing is like I mean, does social status really mean that much to you that you're gonna make your child miss out on so many other things in life?
Yeah.
That's
It's
how I feel.
like like I understand where like my mom was like, oh, she wants us to go to a good school, right? She wants us to go to good school, get a good job and all that stuff. So like make sure we don't play that much games, or but the thing is that there has been times where she's like, she doesn't want us to play games at all. It's like, do not play any games, right? How dare how do not play any games. If you come home, I see you playing game, I will destroy you, right? Like it's funny is because my cousin, his name is Tony. Him and his sister were playing Mario 64 for such a long time that they did not do the dishes, they did not eat, they did not do anything. All they did was play Mario
Oh, okay.
64. The dad came in, so my uncle came into the room without saying anything, holding a hammer,
Oh,
and he goes, "Bah, bitch! No more video games!" They fucking destroyed that shit in front of them. They fucking like cried. They fucking cried so hard. But the thing is that did they get into a good school? Did they get good jobs? Yes, they did. So like it did work, right?
yeah,
That fucking like PTSD is like, oh, I should don't play video games anymore. My dad's gonna come with a hammer and destroy my shit. So it's like so my mom was like telling me, he's like, oh, don't you're influence to your younger brother. Do not play video games all the time around him. Right. And then now he's like and the fact that like, oh, it's just video games, and then like my younger brother, who's like 9 years younger than me, he's like looks up to me, and my other brother, who's a year younger than me, and then it's like he always wants to play Smash Brothers, he always wants to play Mario Kart, right? But the thing is, he's very smart, and like he went to UNLV, and like he's going into golf and stuff like that. But like if I want to see like if my brother and myself like didn't like play that much video games around him, would he have gotten to a better place? Right? Would he have been like, oh, maybe he would have been like fucking rocket scientist or some shit, right? But I don't know. But it's not like he's a terrible person. I'm not a terrible. I play
Yeah.
games all the fucking time, right?
Yeah.
My
Me
dad,
too.
first and foremost, my dad didn't give a shit how much games I played. He's like, hey, Phillip, you not failing school, right? I'm like, no, I have a D. Okay, D still pass. Okay, don't fail. So basically,
Yeah.
as
That's
long as
that's the thing
as
for
I
me.
don't fail school, I was good.
The thing is, when I was in late grade elementary and in high school, in my
Mm,
entire high school life, just passing, I couldn't even do that. I couldn't. It's like in high school, in high school, it's like every quarter I had a failing grade. It's like first quarter I failed math, second
mm,
quarter I failed science, third quarter I failed social studies, fourth quarter I failed Filipino. Just that when you average them in the 4 quarters, it ends up being passing. That's why I never took
mhm.
summer class. But
Wait,
even
wait,
then,
wait. I'll stop you right there. I'll stop you. You failed math?
yeah,
What kind of Asian are you?
yeah, fake. I'm not a real Asian.
Fake Asian. But don't worry about it. I failed math too, but I had a good reason. I had a good reason why I failed math. Okay, because in high school I had a girlfriend, so I didn't give a shit about my classes. All right, but once my girlfriend during that time went off to college, I actually like, aced all my classes. It's because that's when I actually started focusing. But when she was in school
Y-
with me, like I didn't focus on school at all
uh,
because I was like, oh man, everyone has a girlfriend. I need to get a girlfriend too, man. Like I don't want to look like a piece of shit, right? But
yeah.
let's see.
Then when yeah,
I'm sorry.
I can see the chat. I'm not a real Asian. So okay, so in high school, it's like towards the end in my graduation, when we were
Mhm,
about to graduate, it's like when we're about to go to college right after that. It's like
mhm,
okay, it's like I thought to myself, maybe it's time I take my studies more seriously. It's like it's finally time to turn things around. So
mhm,
when I got to college, there were some semesters that I actually got a dean's lister. So it's like it's a 180. So it's
mhm,
like I in high school I was like one of the people who boiled eggs. One of the the students who have failing grades are like they're kind of looked down upon. Then
mhm,
in college, it's like when when I tell the story that I actually failed, I I was having failing grades. Like some of my classmates didn't even believe me. It's like you having failing grades? I don't believe you. It's like, so I know what it feels like to be one of the smart guys and what it feels like to be one of the the below average guys.
No,
So I experienced both worlds.
I was always the below average guy because I didn't really care about my grades. I'm like I'm gonna be an artist anyways. I don't give a fuck. Right. Let's see. There's some Joe C. Say, being a boomer has nothing to do with it. I'm almost 60 years old and I still game. Started out in arcades in the 70s, Atari, ColecoVision, and then to NES and all the way to my PS4. Yeah, like my dad and my uncles, they all played video games, right? And like and I think it's just a lot of people who are just saying, oh, you're not gonna amount to anything if you play video games because it's gonna ruin your brain. You could spend all that time, actually doing something productive. But the thing is that none of them are like deadbeats. Like none of my uncles, not like my dad is not a deadbeat or anything like that. Like he doesn't know that his English isn't that good, but like he was able to buy a house and have a car and have a family. It wasn't anything that stopped him, and I think it also comes down to the discipline that you get growing up, right? How much self discipline do you have, and how much games can you play? And it's like, okay, I'm gonna play for 4 hours only. I'm not gonna play anymore. And I think once you have the sort of mentality of knowing how to discipline yourself, I think you gotta you gotta show that to your kids. You gotta show that to your kids and let them know, hey, you're not supposed to play this much. Do not play more than this much. Play three hours. I'm gonna come in and tell you to stop. So they know. And the thing is that it's also a respect thing. If your kids doesn't listen to you, then like you need to let your kid, you bring out the belt and shit like that, like my dad did. He's a fucking you playing another video game, fucking slap the shit out of you, right? But as an Asian, We got physically abused by my father multiple times. He beat the shit out of me and my sister. But I do, yeah, I'm going through the comments right now to see. Oh, there's a lot. Okay, I'm trying to read this one over here. Uh, let's see. Asian card revoked. Yep, failing math. Not a real he's an AI Asian, fake Asian. Let's see. Let me see. In ninth grade, my sister looked up my grades during dinner, and I got like a D and F, and I got in trouble. See, yeah. So my mom is like, you have to have like straight A's, like you have to, right? It's because we would go to family outings, and my mom were like, her sisters and brothers will always like tell her, it's like, oh, my son is so smart, my son is he's so intelligent, he got A's in all his classes. Like, oh, what is Philip doing? Oh, he's fine. Right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what oh, my son is going to USC. Where's your son going? Oh, he's going to school, he's going to community college.
Yeah.
And she looks so bad. And that's why she's like, you guys are fucking pieces of shit. You're bad influence to your younger brother. And then me and my brother's like, dude, who cares? Like, ultimately, none of this shit's gonna matter. Is because my brother is doing really well. He's a golf instructor. My younger brother, he's also teaching, but he's also trying to go pro. And I'm like, I will consider myself a pretty successful artist in the gaming industry. And my sister is working at a bank at HR. Like, all of us did not go to a pristine college at all, right? So yeah, it's my mom is like, oh, it's all about saving face. I can't look bad. So
It's an
it
older
sucks.
generation thing. The older
Yep.
they value optics in a ridiculous level. It's like, it's insane what they were willing to go through just to have that optics. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
You stopped Grae there. I'm wondering how he failed Filipino class. How did you fail?
Yeah. I'm not good with the language, and I don't know. It's just, it involves a lot of reading. Which I didn't do, obviously. It
Mhm.
involves a lot of, like, a lot of, especially in high school, a lot of the literature in Filipino class in high school involves source material about poverty, the history of the Philippines and stuff like that, which obviously I was not. I was kind of lazy in doing that, and I wasn't really motivated to learn. That's why.
So let's see what's this one over here. I say, I do recall Centipede. Anyone remember Megmania? It was an Atari game. So my uncle, he had an Atari machine, right? It's like basically a joystick, and it's a machine. It's like, it looks sort of like it's more vertical, and you replace the screens on it, right? There's like a little like clear like plastic film sheet that you replace. So basically, you put in the cartridge, and then you put the screen on if you want to play like Centipede or you want to play Asteroid. So he had that, but I'm not sure if he still has it, because it was in working condition like 10 years ago. So if he still has it, he might be able to sell it for like a lot, but I'm not sure. But like, yeah, I do remember those. It's pretty cool. You would shoot hamburgers and other things. Used to be my favorite game. Yeah, they would play Asteroid for like forever, man. Like, and my uncles, they would play like Dig Dug, and like, yeah, they would still spend a lot of time in the arcade. Let's see. Lost Sale says, I stopped just trying to relate to non-Asians. I don't believe you guys had low grades. This isn't real. Okay.
But yeah, we're
Go
speaking.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I'm speaking the truth. Like, grade school and high school, I was a freaking nobody. Then college and a little bit of grad school, people, I don't consider myself smart, but smart, but people, that's how I was being perceived in my later years of education. Yes, it's real. I mean, if I had my report card here, I would even flash it like.
So for me, I didn't try. Okay. So like, okay,
Yeah.
so here's the thing. I remember like, I was like considered like a average to above average student up until like 5th grade. Right, and that's when I met like this guy named Leo, and we sort of became best friends. And he introduced me to like Pokemon, video games. Like, he's the one who really, really like, oh, you should get a Nintendo 64. Smash Brothers is coming out. I saw it on Tips and Tricks magazine. You should play that shit. And I'll go over to his house and play his Sega Saturn. I would play a Mega Man X4, and I'll play like X Men versus Street Fighter. And I would stop like really caring about like school. And what happened was in 6th grade, we took this Sat 9 or Cat 6 test, right? It's basically academic, like they place you, right, whenever you go to middle school. So when I went to middle school, they placed me in like a remedial class where all like the people who are like doesn't know how to speak English, the people who are like failing, like they would put me in that class. I'm like, what the, like, why am I in this class, right? And then literally when I took my Cat 6 Sat 9, I'm like, because in 6th grade, all I did was I basically went A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E. That's I didn't care. I didn't care. I'm like, I'm gonna make fucking drawings. I'm gonna make designs on this shit. So I fucking like got really, really bad grades, like on my like sort of standardized testing. In 7th grade, which is middle school, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously. And he immediately drew me out of that class, like literally next quarter. Like when they found out, I was like, oh, he's actually really smart. I'm like, bitch, I don't fucking try, man. I don't want to work hard. I want to be fucking a C, like a C plus Asian. I think that's all I need. I don't even know A plus Asian, man. I don't need to fucking go above and beyond. I don't need that shit, right? I just want to be able to pass everything. I don't need to be like super smart or anything like that. Because here's the thing. If I do show my mom that I can do it, she's gonna fucking expect that shit. No, you're not gonna. She's gonna be expecting it. It's like, oh, you're so smart. You should do better. You know, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed in you, right? I just don't care. I just don't care. Like right when I got to college, I took a little bit more seriously, and like I fucking aced all my classes. This is because I'm just like the only class I didn't ace was rigging for 3D modeling. I fucking hated
Yeah,
that class. I barely passed. But yeah,
yeah,
it's wild.
college is because like you're what you're learning is something you probably want to learn already. Unlike in high school and grade school, they teach you all sorts of subjects. Like they really want to all encompassing about which is fair because you're just a kid still growing up. But in college you're already kind of mature already, so you're kind of supposed to know where you want to go,
Mhm.
which is more you learn more practical stuff.
Yeah.
Arguably, depends what you're
Yeah.
taking up. I
So
could say that what I learned is not really that all that useful.
so I remember when I was in middle school, that's when I sort of like started rebelling a little bit. Like I didn't like come home. I would stay out, like play video games with my friend. Like me and my friend would have a futon in his living room and we'll practice like WWE like wrestling moves. Like he will like power bomb me and like choke slam me, and I will do like the fucking rock bottom and shit. Like we were all into like wrestling during that time. So I didn't really come home, and my dad didn't fucking care, right? But the thing is that I started like knowing that like, hey, like my teacher will come up to me and say, hey man, like if you don't pass this class, you're gonna get held back. Like you're not gonna go to high school. I was like, fuck. So then like I went back to my friend's house, like Leo's house, and then like his stepbrother, Ray. I still hang out. Not hang out, I still talk to him. He basically said, so whatever you do, don't fail. Like don't like I'm not asking, he's like, you don't have to get an A or a B, just like don't fail. Like just get a D. As long as you pass, you're good. Is because like especially in high school, and like people will know, oh, you're that kid that got held back, and you're gonna be known for that dumbass Asian, right? So the thing is that I made sure that I just didn't fail. It's and at least I did it, and like that's where I'm like, okay, as long as I don't fail, and that's what I did in high school. I'm like, I'm and then I met my ex, and I'm just like, I don't fucking care about school anymore. See, there's a difference between abuse and discipline. Is there though? Is there? My dad would just slap me for no reason. My dad would just here's the thing though. In all seriousness, I was a terrible fucking kid. Like I would cause so much problems for my dad. But let's see.
Okay.
Straight A's are about true. True. See, if I was at my mom's house, like if I grew up with my mom, yeah, she would have been like that. Let's see. Yeah, most young folks today needed to get smacked upside the head, and it never happened. This part is the problem of Gen Z. Yeah, there was speaking of that, right? Because there's a lot of kids who's like, oh, we need to fucking put them on medicine. We need to hype them up on drugs so they can pay attention. You know, they have ADHD, or they have like they can't pay attention, right? So there was a thing in South Park where the teacher is like, what do we do? The kid's not listening. And then Mr. Garrison comes in, is like, I know what to do. And then he basically slaps the kid in the back of the head, like, sit down and shut up. And it's like, like started listening. But the thing is that I think Russell Peters nailed it in his stand-up, right? And if you guys don't know who Russell Peters is, he's he's an Indian stand-up comedian, and he was talking about like when he was younger, and he will go over to his friend, his buddy Ryan's house, and his friend is white, and he will go over. He's like, his mom comes into the room. He's like, Ryan, go clean your room, and Ryan goes, fuck you, bitch, and he's like, what? He's like, and then the mom just goes, oh my god, what am I gonna do with him? And then Russell goes, you can't say that to your mom. And Ryan goes, yeah, I can. She's a jackass. He's like, well, I can't say that to my dad because he'll beat me up. He's like, well, next time when your dad says he's gonna beat you up, you tell him that you're gonna call Child Protective Services. You don't even gotta do it. You just gotta bluff. They will never come after you ever again. Right. And the thing is that he was able to get away with a lot of that kind of stuff. And it's a lot of the American born kind of mentality where like you don't beat your kids anymore. So here's the thing. My dad beat the shit out of me and I fucking called the Child Protective Service. We had to go to counseling. Yo, my dad fucking hated that shit. But the thing is that my dad, even after that incident, my dad would still beat us. And it sort of like knows that, okay, look, there's so much that you can do to your parents where they're like, they can only take so much and they beat the shit out of you. But I think from time to time you do need a beating, just a little bit. Not like where you can show that like, the thing is that my wife said that my dad fucked up because if my dad hit us on the arm and the face and shit like that, and it's visible. And my wife is like, see, my mom was smart. She'll hit us on the ass, right? So she will use the belt or whatever to hit the butt is because the teachers can't see it. So they can't get in trouble. See, my dad didn't give a fuck. He'll grab whatever nearby him and just like hit me with it. But it did make me fear him a little bit more. But I didn't want to make him pissed off where he can hit me. So that's why I listened to him. But I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm not giving anyone any parenting advice. I'm not saying that I'm gonna beat my kid. I'm not. But I want him to fear me just a little bit. Just a little bit. So he knows if I'm gonna come into the room, it's like, oh shit, dad's fucking pissed. Let's see. Well, it's been fun, boys. I'm looking forward to watching your growth, but I gotta go later, you bastards. Yo, take it easy, Michael. Take it easy, dude.
Thank you. See you.
But yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's wild. And I can only say so much because my dad, if he's watching me, he's like, this motherfucker, Phillip, I'm gonna fucking beat him up when I see him. Let's see. My sister threatened to call Child Protective Services, and my dad called her bluff and made her call them. Okay, let me get you the phone, tough guy. Oh shit. Oh man. All right. So, Grae, what are your thoughts on the whole Kotaku stuff that's been happening? Or do you know about it? Do you know what's been happening around with the Kotaku stuff?
You're pertaining to Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo in general.
Yeah, I did not I watched Asmon's video, but I did not read the text of what he actually said. It's like I was just listening it in the background, but I know Kotaku did Kotaku being Kotaku again. It's like
Yeah.
they're really going down under. Whoever's on top, whoever's in charge of Kotaku, I don't know, you need to let go of these people already, or you need to keep your house under control, or else all of your jobs will be gone. That's how I see it. But yeah, I did not see the quote itself or what they articulated, but I'm pretty sure they're in the wrong.
So I believe Kotaku was like super salty that and I believe they started talking shit about like Nintendo or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And they're talking shit about Nintendo and how they're like they're like racist white people or some shit like that, and they're no, not racist white people, they're racist, like, and then they're not putting enough like people of color or something, and they're talking shit. And then they didn't get a I guess a reviewer copy.
Yeah,
Right, they didn't get a review copy of Tears of the Kingdom. Right, and they're like super pissed. Right, and of course Nintendo was like, well, you talk shit about us, so we're gonna blacklist you. we're not gonna give a shit about you. So what happened was, this is from Kotaku. So this is from the Gaming Watcher. I'm going to share it just really quick. Kotaku blacklisted by Nintendo for posting leaks. That's crazy, right? They're so mad because I believe there's actually like a you can actually download the game like illegally. I don't know where, but I'm not gonna
Yeah,
post any links. But you can't.
yeah,
People are actually playing it now, right?
yeah, yeah. It's those people who somehow get the physical copies early. So what they
Mhm,
do is they dump the files, they upload it online, then anyone can just download it. As long as your Switch is probably jailbroken or something like that, then they can
mhm.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nintendo is super, super strict with regards to that. So it's like the moment you do anything that's if you make content that's resembling those leaks or advertise those leaks, yeah, you're pretty much done with Nintendo.
Didn't they promote like piracy? Like,
Kotaku?
yeah, Kotaku actually posted like
Y-
they're like pro piracy, and they're actually for like promotes emulation, and Nintendo fucking hates that shit,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it's wild, right? So like understand, and the thing is that Nintendo hates it when like you make a fan game that does really really well, right? They hate it when you are doing a Smash Brothers tournament without a legal Nintendo like
yep,
official seal, right? They will shut that shit down,
yep,
and it sort of sucks with Nintendo. And I think there's a lot of the backwards ass way thinking, but so right here, video game website Kotaku cut off by Nintendo for posting leaks. Let's see. Kotaku, one of the internet's most popular video game websites, has been blacklisted by Nintendo for posting leaks about their upcoming games. This move comes after the website was already blacklisted by Bethesda, the publisher of Fallout and Elder Scrolls series. Oh, I didn't know that. Kotaku has been known to post leaks and insider information about upcoming games, which has earned them a reputation as controversial website among some of the gaming industry. Right, blacklisting by Nintendo means that Kotaku will no longer be able to receive pre-release review copies of upcoming games, which could hurt their ability to provide timely and accurate reviews to their readers. The move also sends a message to other gaming websites that posting leaks about Nintendo's games will not be tolerated. So this isn't the first time that Kotaku has experienced this kind of stuff, right? So over here, this is the leak. This is from their official Twitter account, and I believe this is deleted. Right? They have to actually censor out this like part, like everything we're learning about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from the leaks, right? So it's like they actually posted it on their Twitter. Like how stupid can you be?
yep.
It's like you don't think that Nintendo is gonna be watching you the
Ni-
entire
Yeah,
freaking time?
yeah. Nintendo of all companies, like Nintendo's a funny part. Nintendo one.
Wait, didn't wasn't there one guy and like a group of people that did
Yeah.
about a bunch of like piracy shit from like the Nintendo? Like they pirated their videos, their games, they copied it and they sold it.
Oh, that I don't know. But there's a big. I'm not sure if you follow beat 'em ups. Will from beat 'em ups.
Mhm.
The
I
because
do.
he used to, yeah, right, he used to be a Nintendo ambassador, but he just made a Breath of the Wild like mods that he used. Then that's it. The relationship, he lost his ambassador status just because of that.
Mhm.
That's how strict Nintendo is.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the story that I'm talking about. So I believe there's this guy. Nintendo sues this guy. Nintendo sues. I'll bring it up. Sues.
Oh wait, oh, you mean Gary Bowser?
Yeah, it's a guy. Yeah, Gary Bowser. Yeah,
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
right here. So I'll bring this up. So this article is from last year, but there was an update on it. So
yep, yep,
Nintendo
yep,
hacker Gary Bowser is sentenced to 40 months in jail. So it's like basically a Canadian hacker, but he was part of this like bigger group. And
yep,
I believe like he's in Canada, but this it's funny because one of them is actually like Chinese and he's in China. So you can't get
yeah,
that you can't get him. So
yep,
what they're doing is this guy was sentenced to 40 months in jail, but
yep.
I believe he was given a what's it called again, like an early release due to good
Behavior.
behavior. But what happened was that Nintendo is basically and this is also the law that they're like, okay, we're actually going to be fining you 30% of your income for the rest of your life. For the rest of his life, doesn't matter what he does, 30% of his income monthly.
Uh Going technical. it is for the rest of his life, but not well. Sorry, no. I mean, generally speaking, it is for the rest of his life. But
It's like
technically
140
speaking,
years or something.
no, technically speaking, it's around 14.5 million. So
Yeah.
given his age, and yeah, given he has probably a low ranking job, it is for the rest of his life
Yeah.
because of that. Yeah,
And the thing is, he's like, I don't know how Canadian law works, but it's like it's pretty wild,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And like so that's happening right now to Kotaku. And then to make matters worse, you have this article right here that says Kotaku journalist Luke Plunkett insinuates a desire for anti-Japanese violence in response to Nintendo denying the outlet a review copy of Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Wow, they really don't fucking care. And I have a
yeah,
feeling that all of these people who are at Kotaku, maybe like 10 years ago, it was like people who are actually the gamers. Right now, Kotaku is probably ran by a bunch of these like left wing like
yeah.
activist people, right?
Yep, yep.
Let's see. It's from Lost Tales. It says that Naughty Dog took Jeremy's channel down for The Last of Us leaks. They didn't they? I believe he got like early, like I think he got like maybe early news about it, and like as for I think a Last of Us 2, right? That what's gonna I
Yeah,
think there's a
it
leak that
got
what was
leaked.
gonna happen to Joel,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, so
they
it's
were
wild.
really cracking. Naughty Dog was really cracking down during that time.
Yeah. So let's see. They've got to protect their business making money from their IP, so they're or they're out of business. Kotaku isn't serving as a good business partner. They get fired now. They yeah,
They
they get
get
normal access like us regular
like
people.
us normal people.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait. So let's say wait. So if he goes into debt, is Nintendo's incur 30% of it. So it's I believe it's $1.3 million, right? So it's not 30%. Sorry, but it is
For,
if it's
for
segmented into his monthly, it's
yeah,
30%.
yeah, 14.5 M, I think. Then he has to give out 25 to 30% of his whatever income he makes. So regardless if he like example, he thinks of opening up a business. If that business makes money, he has to give 30% of it to Nintendo
Yeah,
until he pays that 14.5 million, which is insane. Like
yeah. He's not.
it's actually legally backed. That's what's mind blowing. It's
So the
legally backed.
so the thing is that he's not even like the head honcho, Gary Bowser. He's like a
Yeah,
regular like low dude, but the fact
yeah,
that they caught him, they're making an example of him. It's like, oh, well, you
yeah,
want to come after Nintendo? We're gonna fuck you up.
yeah,
We're gonna milk you dry of all your
yeah,
funds. You know, we're gonna
yeah,
sue you. And the thing is that I'm pretty sure Nintendo's like, we just want to sue this guy, and then the court's like, what about $14 million in damage? Like Nintendo's like, yes, we like that. The thing is that Nintendo doesn't need that money. You're setting
yeah.
an
That,
example.
that's like a drop in the bucket for
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Let's see. Is it further proving the already widely held opinion that most mainstream video game journalists are are no better than the straw men they claim to fight against? Kotaku journalist Luke Plunkett recently responded to a round of discourse regarding the outlet's blacklisting by Nintendo with an image that insinuated a desire for anti-Japanese violence. It's Kotaku's latest video, sorry, not video, episode of self-embarrassment was first sparked on April 26th when a staff writer, Ethan Gak, took to his personal Twitter account to bemoan the fact that the outlet was not provided a review copy of the highly anticipated The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. It's preview day for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a huge game I would love for Kotaku to be able to inform its millions of readers about firsthand. Unfortunately, Nintendo still has it blacklisted from advanced coverage, a move I would argue is both unprofessional and coercive. So that's what he put. I say, where's that image? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLCs includes a disability slur.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I remember that. It's like they're really pushing it. I remember that.
Jeez. Let's see. In terms of Nintendo, with history of such hits as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Persona 5's DLC includes a disability slur, an absolutely absurd accusation, as Metroid Dread is
Oh
already
yeah, that
running great
too.
on Switch
Yeah,
emulators. It's
yeah,
not hard to see why the esteemed Japanese publishers would view working with Kotaku as bad business. Yeah, but so where's that image? Where's that image that they posted? Oh, there it is. Luke Plunkett. For the record, this is how I feel about publishers blacklist. There it is. There it is. Okay, where's the okay, Grae, what disability slur are they
Wait,
talking about?
I I think I just read the headlines, but just reading that alone, it's like I found it to be so absurd. So we're gonna have to search for it if we're gonna. It's gonna be my first time too.
Yeah,
But
it might be the R word, right? It might be the R word or something.
yeah,
But the thing is that you see, I'm caring. I am years past caring what these people say. I'm simply aghast at the fanatical fervor with each throne and 2023. The thing is that Kotaku is such a shit show. I I go on Kotaku from time to time just for fun. But the fact that you actually did this, you're saying that we're gonna come after you guys. Because so Grae or people who in the chat who don't know, whenever they put a flag or like a number or a figure on their plane, it means what they took down, how many people they took down, or how many planes they took down, right? It's sort of like a badge of honor for them. So this is basically saying that we're gonna come after Japanese people, right? Players and Kotaku employees can get their copy of Legend of when officially May 12th. But like I said, this isn't the first time Kotaku has shit the bed.
yep.
Several years ago, I think no, it's not several years. I think like about a year ago, Kotaku has basically said this about Final Fantasy 16 and Square. So right here, Final Fantasy 16 dev has
Oh
a
god.
terrible answer for why the game is so white. Naoki Yoshida feels that a racial diversity would be a violation of narrative boundaries. 2 weeks ago, Square Enix released a new story trailer for the upcoming RPG Final Fantasy 16. There's just one noticeable problem. There doesn't seem to be a single non-white character in it. So IGN asked producer Naoki Yoshida about whether or not the game would feature any black people or other people of color. Unfortunately, his response made me go, yikes, in real life. Yoshida explained that the Final Fantasy world of Valistia was based on medieval Europe, and they wanted to limit the world culturally and geographically. Valistia was never going to realistically be as diverse as a modern day Earth or even Final Fantasy 14. Right. And ultimately, we felt that while incorporating ethnic diversity to Valistia was important, and over incorporation into this single corner of much larger world could end up causing a violation to those narrative boundaries we originally set for ourselves. So basically saying that OG medieval European times do not have black people, do not have Asian people, do not have Mexican people. That's the reason why they're all white. And I'm pretty sure Rings of Power has something else to say about that. But I digress. So basically, in short, Kotaku calls out, say that you guys are fucking racist. You guys are excluding any other race other than white people, right? And then this is basically what happened. I believe this week or this month. We're roughly 4 months out of Final Fantasy 16's release, sorry, and the press recently got to preview the next entry of the legendary JRPG series. Writers in attendance were impressed by the Gandios cinematic real-time battles that like some liken to God of War. They praised the series' departure from turn-based combat and darker, grittier settings. Mostly people seemed shocked that Final Fantasy characters were, for the first time in the mainline game, allowed to say fuck. Oh, and it seems like the producer is sticking to his guns about previous diversity comments. While the previews took place in New York City and Tokyo, Kotaku was not invited to the event. Right? And I'm glad that Japan is sticking to their guns to this kind of stuff. It's because like we don't. It's like we're trying to tell a story about Europeans, and we're not talking. There's no Japanese people in there, right? No one's complaining. Like what the fuck? I don't know. What do you feel about this?
Yeah, respect to Square. I mean, Square's not a perfect company, but the thing is, what makes Japanese content so good? That's why I like covering JRPGs, because it feels like it's like a completely different world.
Yo, what's going on, Nerd Cookies? How's it going?
It's like it feels like it's so different. It's like I don't have to talk about woke stuff. I don't have to
Mm,
rant about these kinds of things. So it's like they stick to their guns, and that's what makes their content so good. That's why manga and anime sales are at an all-time high. That's why all their games are doing so well because they genuinely care about the quality of their content, and
mm,
they just want to entertain people. And look, they're doing so well right now. Like
mm.
F16, everyone's waiting for it. They're not expecting any woke crap in it or any it's gonna be good. And
Yeah.
yeah, and you know that more recently, right, with FF6, sorry, it's my dog, but yeah, FF16, right? There's
Mhm.
some recent news about it too, which another mad respect for them. Okay, be right back.
All right. But what's it called again? So we have a chair stream for Grae. But yeah, they have their own problems, but Square is not woke. Absolutely. I don't Square isn't, right? But the thing is that sometimes when Square acquires or they're working with other companies that's not Square proper, but like a lot of these smaller companies that worked on what's it called again? Guardians. They worked on the Avengers game. They worked on what's it called? Forspoken. Like sometimes I can get some of the woke stuff is because the US tends to have more say. But when it comes down to like proper Japanese like games that's developed in Japan, right? A lot of it is not woke. However, you can have like a and fucking and diversity, inclusion, and equity like officer that works there that's like, oh, Tifa's boob is way too big. We gotta shrink that shit. Right. It's like, oh, you gotta have more of these. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, when when the game officially launches, Street Fighter 6 will probably have some people's like, how dare you give Chun-Li a jiggle physics when she kicks her ass? Real life ass do not jiggle that much when you kick someone. How dare you make Cammy so fucking hot? There's no girl in the world that looks like that, right? Because you will have people who are gonna be pissed off for no fucking reason.
Yep.
But Japan's like, fuck, I don't fucking care. We're making money.
Yeah.
People are happy and
Yep.
shit, right?
Yep.
So but I'm good on Square and yeah, and fuck Kotaku, man. Like screw them.
Yeah.
Like who cares? You don't need them. I hope they go to the way of Vice News, which is fucking they
Yeah.
basically get
They're
shut
gone.
down. Yeah, yep. When people complain, make them jiggle more. True, right? I remember speaking of jiggle physics. I remember DOA 1, right? Dead or Alive 1 on PlayStation. I remember you can adjust the amount of jiggle like how much you want. So the older you are, you can adjust the age. So the older you are, so I would put it in 99. It's literally like literally like insane. Like no way that's real, but I love it. But yeah, in my opinion, I'm glad that Square is not like it's like we don't fucking care, like this game is
Yeah.
good and stuff like that, and like this is the story, and it makes sense, right? It's it's not like, oh, we should actually add in more diverse, characters in Lord of the Rings. So we're gonna put a black elf. We're gonna have a black dwarf, and we're gonna have all, like we're gonna have like people who are not like European, like centric, like medieval time. We're gonna have all of them in there because we need this game to be able to, like cater to the modern time era, cater to modern audience. And I fucking hate that.
Mhm.
Right. I don't know. So, Gray, are you looking forward to Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah. I brought it up as one of the topics, right? So
Mm.
I was about to say before I left for momentarily. So mad respect also to Square. Yeah, Square Enix is not a perfect company. They have their own issues, but they did not bend the knee to Saudi Arabia.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
think,
Do you have the article?
yeah. I
Do you have the article handy? I can pull it up.
I do not, but it's one of the
Yo, X-Wing. Yo, man,
X-Wing.
it was great to meet you at the
Great to meet
meetup,
you.
dude. Yo, what's happening, man? Hope you're doing well. Is I know you had to like bounce early that day, but
Yeah.
what if we can meet in like next time or something like that at a meetup, like I would like to buy you a drink or some shit, man. It's good meeting you, dude. Oh yeah. Oh, you're right here. Yeah, let's make Aragorn black because yeah, it was like
Yeah, they
was it
did. They
the
did.
card?
They made the card by Wizards of
Mhm.
the Coast, I believe. Yeah, which
Okay.
is so cringe. Yep,
Are you
I'll
looking up?
send.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yep, I sent
Or
it.
you
I
have it?
sent it
Okay, okay.
on
I
Discord.
okay. I'll grab it right now.
Yeah.
All right. So this is from Eurogamer. God, let's accept the damn cookies. This is from Eurogamer, and let's go ahead and share. So Final Fantasy 16 won't be released in Saudi Arabia. So I didn't read it, but let's go actually and read this article. See, Square Enix forthcoming Final Fantasy 16 will not be on sale in Saudi Arabia. The news comes from a tweet by the country's public authority for media, which gives age classification on video games. According to the tweet, the game will not be released due to the publisher's unwillingness to make necessary modifications. Okay, so what? Okay, so what was it then? What was the actual thing that was said? Okay,
It
earlier
was
this
not.
week. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go
It
ahead.
was not. It was not clear as per the. It's not. This is not the article that I read,
Mhm.
but the implied hints. It's something to do with LGBTQ content. That's the hint.
Oh,
They
okay.
yeah. So respect to Square for actually sticking to their guns, unlike the other company that shrinks their shrinks the black character or removes the mask of the black character or puts on a mask for a black character.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you see the FF16 interview where Yoshida said he thinks the term JRPG is discriminatory? I I did I didn't see it, but I wouldn't. I think I know what he's. I think I do understand why he's thinking like that though. Is because they're not just because what you're saying that do you want to call it a American RPG? Do you want to call it Chinese RPG? Right? It's because they're just RPG. Why would you have to call it a JRPG? Right? It's sort of like it's not inclusive to them. So I do understand why, but it's people have been calling it JRPG for such a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. How do you think about that, Grae? What do you think?
Uh, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he just wants it RPG, but I
Mhm.
don't know. Yeah, it's a bit nitpicking for sure. It's a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I brand my YouTube channel as like I'm a JRPG channel, so I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yo, what's going on, Nagy? How's it going, man? My base chinks. What's good? Yo, what's happening? Yo, hail the Lord. Yo, what's happening, dude? Hail. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're
Yo,
doing well. Let's see. Earlier this week, the board's general supervisor, Hatin Tawili, tweeted, one of the most important and biggest games of the year is on its way to being banned due to the company's complete refusal to modify the content to suit the region. Now we seemingly know which game they're referring to. So, what are those necessary modifications? Your gamer contacted Square for clarification and is yet to receive a response. Of course, the response may lead to a spoiler. Until then, we can only speculate. As we previously reported, Final Fantasy 16 will include more mature themes than previous games in the series. Its trailers have already received an M rating. Oh shit, it's M rated? Oh yeah, it has an F word. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
I don't know. While the last year is rated in Brazil, not recommended for children under 16, the Brazilian ratings lists likes basically yes, it's like partial nudity, prostitution, drug use like cigarettes, suicide, torture, and gratuitous violence in the game. Yoshida has likened the game's icon summons to nuclear weapons and mass destruction, and Mother Crystal lands like an oil-rich countries, while the one trailer for the game has hinted at possible sex scenes. Okay, so I'm gonna go down and skip that one right over here. A more likely reason for the ban, however, would be the inclusion of LGBT plus content. Homosexuality is illegal in Saudi Arabia, and members of the LGBT plus community were severely repressed. There's precedence for this too, with The Last of Us 2 banned in the Middle Eastern countries due to its LGBT plus representation. Many Final Fantasy games online believe the inclusion of LGBT plus characters is a reason for the ban, although this has not been confirmed by Square. Yeah, I think that's likely to be the culprit, but
yeah,
who knows? But the thing is that
yeah.
has Final Fantasy ever had something like that though? Like where there's like a like outright gay character, like
Uh, I don't think
or
so,
lesbian, that is.
but a lot of the points that you mentioned in the article will be a first also. Like if there's actual nudity
Mhm,
and talks about suicide, prostitution. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of firsts for this Final Fantasy.
mhm. Yeah,
So we can only speculate.
yeah, I do like the fact that they I think yeah, they should stand their ground. It's like, "Hey, we're not gonna change our game for you that's fucking coming out in a month. It's coming out in a month."
Mhm.
It's like our game is coming out in a month. We're not gonna change this shit just change it for you and just for your country alone, just so we can get this thing out, right? And that's the reason
Yeah,
why it goes back to the thing with Victoria Alonso with the whole Ant-Man thing. It's like, oh, please remove this pride flag so you can be you know you can show it in Saudi Arabia. And then Victoria Alonso basically said, no, we're not going to do that. Because she's part of the LGBT community herself, so she's not. It's like, I'm not going to remove that because that's on my principles. And then of course Marvel ended up letting her go, firing her, and then they outsourced it, and they did it anyways, right? So, but the thing is that Yoshida is like, he's literally lead producer on the game. He's running the game. The story is all his. So you're not going to fire the person who fucking saved Final Fantasy 14 from the brink of extinction, and you're not going to fire him from Final Fantasy 16 because that game is like one of the most hyped games, and there's no reason why I bought the I bought the PS5.
Yeah, I'm inclined to pre-order because of that. It's like you really stick to your. It's like salute to sticking your guns, unlike the other company. It's like when I think about it, it's like the exact opposite.
Calm down, LGBT viewers. We'll put you in half-ass DLC. Yeah, it's fine. Just put them in the DLC. But yeah, it's definitely really cool. Like, I actually originally I was originally talking to my wife, like, thinking, the Final Fantasy 16 pre-order has dropped. Like, should I buy the mega big dick bundle with the $300, the statue and shit like that? She's like, maybe. And of course, it was sold out in like 10 minutes. So she got me like the deluxe edition for my birthday, which is pretty cool. Isn't Yoshida carrying Square by himself? Yes. I would say so. It's because Nomura is always going to have a soft spot in a lot of people's heart because of Final Fantasy 7. Like, he's the character designer and stuff. And he designed a lot of other characters too, right? So he did a lot of 8, and he did I think he did 10. And then he also did fucking 15. So, but the thing is that 15 was really, really bad, right? At launch, really, really bad. And a lot of people did not like how Nomura changed up a Final Fantasy 7 remake. So the only person that actually is like the golden child, I would say, is Yoshida. It's because he saved Final Fantasy 14. When Final Fantasy 14 launched, it was fucking awful. Like, I heard stories that they were gonna cancel it. Because I had a friend who was like a big Final Fantasy fan, right? Anything that Final Fantasy, like, he loves, he eats it up. And he's like, I asked him, are you playing Final Fantasy online, 14 online? He's like, yeah, but it's not that good so far. Like, it's okay. Now there's a lot of bugs and stuff. And then they ended up bringing in Yoshida, and he basically saved it. And they basically did this whole world thing. So for people who has never played Final Fantasy 14, they basically made this world event. And it's basically like a giant fucking meteor coming out of the sky that's going to destroy the entire like Final Fantasy 14 universe. And they made that into a story. And they called it A Realm Reborn. And that's when A Realm Reborn came out, and they fixed a lot of the shit. It took them a long time to fix it. And ever since then, every release after A Realm Reborn has been really, really, really good. Like, even I played it. Like, I went up to Endwalker.
Yeah, but it's amazing. The 180 for Final Fantasy 14. Like, amazing stuff.
Let's see. Didn't Square make Forspoken? Square was they were publishing it, but they weren't they didn't develop it. It was another company.
Yeah, it was the company that was supposed to showcase the engine of Final Fantasy 16. Yeah, which is Forspoken, which is a fail because of the writing.
Okay, the Forspoken company, who developed
Luminous. I think it's called
Luminous. They fired everyone.
Yeah,
they dissolved that company because it did so bad.
Well, to be fair, not really. They absorbed them, so it's like they're not their own entity anymore. They're just they're back to being.
They don't have say anymore. He's like, you guys are gonna be part of us. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, it's a nice shirt. Got me one too. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I really like this one. This one came in late. I wanted to get I actually wanted to get one for Grae, but like when I ordered it, it was like, it was gonna come in like 2 weeks after. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, it's fine.
But yeah, it's I'm glad that Square is doing really well. I'm super freaking hyped for Final Fantasy 16. It's like so good.
My thing with Square is that they have a lot of good games. Like, you know me, right? I love Star Ocean, but probably 90% of chat doesn't even know what that game is. It's like they are terrible in marketing their B tier or AA games. Like, and they release them, especially recently. They released so many games. Like last year, Valkyrie Elysium, Live Alive, Harvest Stella, Star Ocean. Like, they released all so many games in such a short time period that even if you're a hardcore JRPG player, you cannot keep up with all of their games. And
Yeah.
they don't advertise them like the way they do with Final Fantasy 16. They need to do better marketing with them. It's
Yeah.
good that they let go of their Western IPs, but what they're doing now is like they need to better pace their games and they need to better market them. But overall, they've been making mostly bangers.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. Let's see what was I missed one right over here. Let's see. Square also published one of the best games ever, Near Automata. Yeah, I heard
Oh
Near
yeah,
really good.
yeah. Speaking of Nier, right now I'm finishing up on Stranger of Paradise. Then the game I want to play, the video I want to cover after that is the first game, Nier Replicant. So I'm excited
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about Near. There are two things I know about Near. The music is really good. 2B has a nice ass. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I know about Near Automata. But there's like it's like, oh man, 2B is so fucking hot, and then you get people who are like, actually, 2B is actually like 3,000 pounds, so she will crush you.
Yeah, chat was
Right.
telling me that I should because yeah, I'm a JRP. I play JRPGs on Twitch. I make JRPG videos on YouTube. So it's like people are telling me try out do Nier. So okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that next.
Let's see. Forspoken's main problem was it was half a good game, half done. Yeah. I I think other than the fact that it was just like very like meh. Like for like I heard I think Charlie Moist Critical he talked about it, right? And then I was hearing a bunch of other people who played it. Like it's like they can forgive the cringe dialogue, but it's just the game is like so meh. It's like
Yeah,
it's not it's like so
yeah.
mid. It's
I
not worth
tried
it.
the I tried the demo. After like 10 minutes, I turned it off. It really wasn't my thing. It's like nah, I don't think this is my thing. Lo and behold, the
Yeah.
reception was just as bad.
Yeah. Bro, I never played Nier, but dead ass 2B cosplayers or something else. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Dude, those
I've seen
cosplayers, man.
I've seen the costumes of the characters. Like, oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to
Yeah,
play this
there's
game.
even like, and the thing is that they're inclusive because they also have a male version of it too. So there's like a male, like I forgot, it's like 2A or some shit like or
Yeah,
3B or whatever. Like there's like a male version and there's like a long haired version of like 2B. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the actual names are,
yeah.
but yeah.
I'll be covering Nier next. So follow my channels if you guys want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, go ahead and follow Grae. Nier has one of the craziest lore that's so underrated because it's only novelized in Grimoire Noir. But that will be released in English to match up with the Nier Replicant Is the Nier Replicant remake?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. That's the one I'll be playing. I can get it for like really cheap actually, like less than $20 for a brand new copy. I've heard it's really really good though. It's super good.
Man, I'm looking forward to that shit. But speaking of shit, let's talk about Amber Heard.
Yeah, it's safe to
Crazy
say
ass segue.
wherever Amber goes, shit follows.
Yeah. So chat, if you don't know, Amber Heard moved to Spain amid break from acting after Johnny Depp trial. Yeah, she's I wonder how much money she's going to get from Aquaman. I believe she's in I think the most recent trailer that dropped shows her in it. But I heard the movie is not going to do that well based off of like predictions, but yeah, it's I think it's dunzos for her. I think she's probably just going to live off whatever
Yeah,
money she has and just probably just
yeah,
work a regular thing.
yeah.
Let's see. Amber Heard, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. Okay, Amber Heard has reportedly relocated to Spain, with it's also suggested that she isn't any hurry to return to work. Actor 37 is said to have moved to the country with her 2-year-old daughter, Una. Okay. After get out of here. After having reportedly sold her home in Yucca Valley, California, just last year. It comes after they were spotted in Majorca, Majorca? I don't know, Majorca. I think it's Majorca. Towards the end of last year, with a local saying at the time that Amber leads a very normal village life as if she were a native. She's, however, now said to have permanently moved to somewhere outside of Madrid, with it suggested that Amber has quit Hollywood and quietly relocated to Spain. Well, As long as you keep her fucking 50 what does 50 feet away from Johnny Depp at all times, right? Restraining order against her. But the thing is that this is not the thing that's surprising, because what
Yeah,
Grae sent me was
yeah,
surprising.
yeah. Lakota's remove the word quietly because it's not quiet anymore.
No, it's definitely not quiet.
It's not quiet anymore.
Yeah, everyone knows. So, but the thing is, what this says here, right? She's officially moved, and it talks about her lawsuit and stuff like that, and what happened with Johnny Depp. But what's more importantly, Amber Heard allegedly pooped on the streets of Spain. I actually believe that she did this.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
that's the
think
thing.
that this happened.
It's so absurd, but at this point, I'm just gonna believe it too.
Yeah. God, this is insane. Right? Let's see. Oh, Amber Heard, what have you gotten yourself into this time? Following series of controversies from the infamous defamation case against Johnny Depp, the cheating scandal to being caught kissing in public, the 36-year-old actress has fallen from grace. This time, Amber was caught on camera dropping a disgusting deuce in the streets of Majorca, Spain. I think that's probably spelled wrong. I'm not sure. Sadly, this isn't the first time she's associated with poop. We can already hear the echoes of return of Amber Turd. Oh man. Okay, like I said, whether or not this is true, I believe it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Me too.
Oh man, dude. No way. She's like, oh, I just have to go. I just have to go, man. Oh shit. she's a poopomaniac. Absolutely. Let's see. Damn, she just opened the OnlyFans where she just moved. She should make bank from weirdos, not gonna lie. Right? Look, I think she's one of those like pretty girls that are like fucking psycho. It's like psychotic, right? But it's wild that she's actually like doing this, and if she actually just pooped in public, like not even in the restroom, she's probably like smoking a cigarette and like squatting and dropping a deuce in the street of Madrid. Oh shit, man. You always need to mark your territory area. Oh man, dude. No way, dude. As you can see the picture, Amber Heard was caught red-handed doing the deed, pants down and all. According to Pop Topic, the American Civil Liberties Union ambassador on women's rights was staggering drunk from a long night of drinking. In the presence of her friends, she stripped her pants and took a dump right there on a sidewalk right across where she was staying. No. Oh no. Oh shit, dude. No way. Oh man, dude. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I wonder what's going on with DC right now after seeing that.
oh god. Well, you have her and then you have fucking Ezra Miller. Speaking of Ezra Miller, have you heard of what like a fucking costume designer said?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I read the headlines, but I didn't really get into it.
let's see. Something about like you will forget like all of Ezra Miller's
Yeah,
misdeeds
yeah,
after you watch the movie. Let me see if I can find it.
yeah. It just shows the people behind managing DC or in Hollywood in general.
Mhm.
Pretty disgusting, if I do say so.
Okay, yeah. So here it is. So this is crazy, man. Like, look. I don't really like. I don't like Ezra Miller at all, and I don't really care for him. Bringing Grant Gustin when you replace the Flash. I did like him when he was doing his stuff in the Snyder cut, but overall that movie could have been better. But it is what it is. But this is from Variety. The Flash production designer isn't worried Ezra Miller's history will derail the movie. People will forget that, right? So this is the article. I'm gonna show it right over here. Sorry, basically saying that the movie is so good, you're gonna forget that he assaulted someone. The movie
Yeah.
is so good, you're gonna forget that he basically kidnapped and housed like a bunch of people and had illegal guns in his Vermont home. Right?
Mhm.
It's this is wild, man.
Yeah.
Grae, if the movie was really good, one of the best movies you've ever seen, will you forget all the misdeed that Ezra Miller has done?
No, of course not.
Yeah. Let's see what someone said. Booming Bob says that makes you
Make you
remember
remember
more.
more.
The Flash will make you forget his crimes. Yeah, he's basically gonna go back in time and erase all his history. Oh shit! This is wild, right? He groomed multiple children. Yeah, literally. Holy shit,
Yeah,
man. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Runs an actual cult. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Most normies will know nothing about him. Yeah, people won't care. It's like, oh, he's a part of the what I believe that he was like getting arrested one time, and he was like, oh, I'm non-binary. You can't arrest
yeah,
me. Like,
yeah. I
what?
think we even played it on stream. That video.
That's crazy. Let's see. As Warner Brothers gears up to release The Flash in theaters this summer, many moviegoers are wondering how star Ezra Miller's history of legal troubles and alleged abuse might impact the release and press tour. The film's production designer, Oscar winner Paul Austerberry, The Shape of Water, isn't sweating it. During a recent interview with CBC, Austerberry said people will forget Miller's history when the film releases. Wow. Well, nope, I don't think so. I don't
Yeah,
think so. I'm pretty sure when Rust's, and I'm pretty sure Alec Baldwin's fingers in the chat, when Rust's release is like, hey, did you remember that one time when Alec
yeah.
Baldwin killed a person?
You're gonna forget that once
Yeah.
Rust releases.
Yeah, when Rust releases, the movie is so good, you're gonna forget that Alec Baldwin shot a person, broke all 4 rules of the firearm safety in seconds. Oh shit, dude. As reported by the CBC, Alsterberry says he's not too concerned about how the stories surrounding Miller will affect the film. People will forget, he said, nothing, noting that Miller did a superb job playing the titular hero as 2 distinct characters, which required production to shoot the film in 2 different chunks. Okay. Now, Variety exclusively reported last August that Miller was seeking treatment for complex mental health issues. The actor was cited in Vermont with a felony burglary last year after state police investigated an incident involving several bottles of alcohol being taken from a residence while homeowners were not present. In 2020, Miller made headlines after a recording surfaced in which he appeared to be choking a woman outside of a bar in Iceland. No charges were filed. The actor was also arrested twice in Hawaii in 2022, once for disorderly conduct and harassment. In the Hawaii incidents, Miller pled no contest to a single count of misdemeanor disorderly conduct and paid a fine of $500 and $30 in court. That's it?
Yeah.
Well, apparently the movie's gonna be that good. Right?
Alleged. Yeah, I think what do you call that term where people get to watch it in advance? I forgot that term. It's
Like
there's
I don't know, early access, pre-release.
yeah,
I don't know, like early
yeah, it's just
screenings or something.
yeah, something like that. So they're saying it's really really good, but I don't know. I'll probably find other means like I usually
Mm.
do. I won't be buying. I won't be supporting this guy.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah, that's crazy. Too bad. Too bad Ezra wasn't. Goddamn. Yeah, the pre-screening. Yeah, advanced screening. That's that. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. If Gunn keeps Miller, I'm not watching any of his DC movies. According to what I heard that Grant Gustin, most recently, he did an interview because I believe the Flash TV show ended. Like it's done. Like season 9 it ended. It's done. See a series finale. And
Mm.
they interviewed him, asked him if he was interested in playing, like if there was like a reboot or with Flash or something. Is he interested in playing Flash again? He said yes. He's open to the idea of playing Barry Allen and the Flash again. So, and the thing is that overall, the first couple seasons of Flash I really enjoyed. So if they were to do a Flashpoint thing, he goes back in time, right? Try to save his mom, meets Yellow Flash or Eobard Thawne, and then he saves his mom, and then he sort of, because he has to undo it, right? So he saves his mom. He sees the whole fucking fracturing of the timelines with the Flashpoint paradox, and he undoes it. He lets his mom die, and then when he comes back, like maybe post credit, he goes zhoosh, and he comes back, and he's like, and it's fucking Grant Gustin. That will be fucking sick. I think that's how they should do it. I think everyone has been wanting Grant Gustin to play the movie, the movie on screen, Barry Allen, and I'm all for that. But the thing is, James Gunn did say that he saw the movie and he says it's really good. It's one of his favorite movies. Right. I think when he was like, when he took charge of the whole DC slate thing, right? He talked about it. I watched The Flash. It's like one of the best movies I've seen. He actually said that. So I hope that he's not in it moving forward, right? Because they fucking took out Henry Cavill. I believe Ben Affleck is no longer going to be in it, and Gal Gadot, and same thing with the guy who plays Aquaman, right? Jason Momoa, right? So I don't know. Like I hope that moving forward they have like a new cast, but I don't know. If the movie is that good, are you gonna watch it though? Like if it's like, oh my god, it's like fucking like audience, like this is like the best DC movie ever. Like, are you going to watch it? You're
I'm
not gonna
gonna
pay for it, though, I'm assuming.
yeah, I'm gonna borrow my cousin's copy. If you guys know, catch my drift.
Yeah. Let's see. After season 3, it went downhill, and with Arrow carrying it. Yeah. Yeah. I think after season 3 or 4, that's when it like got really, really bad, and I stopped watching. Yeah, I believe you're right. Let's see. James Gunn already screwed up when he got rid of Henry Cavill, and I guess he's letting the Black Superman ideas. Really? I hope not. I hope they have a traditional what's it called again? Superman.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
because I would say he was pretty faithful with Guardians, and with the changes that he made with Guardians. Because with the most recent one, if you don't know, Cosmo the dog, Cosmo's a space dog in the comics, is a boy. Changing from a boy to a girl doesn't change up the story at all, so it's fine. I think a lot of people are okay with that, right? So as long as they don't, like, well, Supergirl is like Hispanic, right? This new Supergirl that's in, but it's not from James Gunn. So hopefully James Gunn doesn't fuck up everything. I know a lot of people love James Gunn's because of what he did with Guardians, right? He took a band of no-name superheroes and made them household, right? Household names.
Yeah, especially this third. Yeah, I haven't watched Volume 3, but I like Volume 3.
Yeah. For all the bad shit that DC makes, they are super lucky to have a multiverse and Flash being able to reset the universes every time something stupid like this happens in real life. True. That's actually good, right? It's sort of like Deus Ex Machina, they basically is like, oh fuck, we fucked up. Let's reset it. Let's reset the timeline, there's always gonna be new stories. Let's see. I'm not giving Ezra Miller any of my money. Yeah, I would say find any other means to watch it. So let's say if it comes out on HBO Max or something, and your friend has a copy of it, not copy of it, if they're subscribed to it, just watch it there or something like that, or have like your friends pay for you or something, right? Let's see. Whoever is Superman is feeling high. Yeah, their shoes they're gonna be feeling is gonna be big, because I think Henry Cavill just got a bad script and bad direction. And I think if he had a good, like, let's say if Henry Cavill had like a really, really good director that knows Superman or some shit like that, or that then she knows the character, like, I think that could have been good. But the thing is that what Gunn said, oh, our Superman is going to be like a lot younger, right? He's going to be a lot younger. So I'm like, what? Why? Right? Let's see. Gunn was told he can't touch or cancel the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Superman project. Really? Ta-Nehisi Coates, piece of shit. That sucks. That really sucks. Well, I don't think anyone's gonna watch it. And then if we don't watch it, we're probably gonna be racist people.
Racist.
Oh, hey, if we don't watch it, and if we're racist for not watching it, then
I'm a racist.
I guess I'm a racist. Yeah, but the money though, true. And see, totally don't BitTorrent it. Yeah, don't BitTorrent, chat. That's super illegal. You just don't do it. I think he was able to make Guardians good because mass audience didn't know who they were. There was no preset mindset into how they should act like which they felt so fresh. So here's the thing. I have a friend who is like a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan. Like his favorite character, and he reads the comics, is Drax the Destroyer. And Drax is supposed to be this like crazy super buff like superhero. Like he's supposed to have this ability to have the tattoos on his body glow. And I believe in the comics what he told me was he can sense where Thanos is anywhere in the universe, anywhere in the galaxy. He can sense him. And he's supposed to be really strong. And like they said that in some parts of the comics, not Thanos, Drax was able to fight like Hulk to a stalemate. And I'm like, no way, but he has to use his like empowered version. So that's what I heard. But yeah. Yeah, he was created to kill Thanos. True. Yeah, was created to kill Thanos. And it's because Thanos killed his wife and kids. What's this? Phillip is racist bigot for not watching Black Superman movie. True. Absolutely. Racist gang right now. Oh shit, man. Yeah, so yeah, same here. Drax was built to kill Thanos. Yeah, Drax is supposed to be like, really fucking good.
Yeah.
And this will segue us to Guardians of the Galaxy. So Grae and I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. Before I give my take on it, Grae, what did you think about the movie? And we're gonna give a heads up for spoilers, okay? So we're gonna give you guys a heads up for spoilers, just because for people, the movie just came out. You guys haven't watched it. You guys can feel free to leave. And we know we there are no hard feelings or anything, but we will talk about spoilers after we talk about our initial impressions. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I really liked it. At the same time, I felt kind of bad because I know this is gonna be Marvel's probably last good movie for quite a while. Like, yeah, because we know this is Gunn's final movie with Marvel because he's busy building the DC universe. But yeah, it's no identity politics, no, just it's it's what a semblance of what Marvel movies used to be. I actually cried in several parts. There are some parts that'll make you it'll hit you right there and makes you feel really terrible for some of the characters. I won't say who.
Yeah.
So I imagine some of you guys already know who I'm pertaining to, but
Yeah.
overall it was really well done. It was really I liked it better than the second one. It's like, so if I were to rank the Guardians movies, like it's the best was still the first one. Then the second place is this one, Volume 3. Then last place is the second one. Yeah. I if I go more into details, gonna be like spoiler territory. But yeah, that's my ranking, and I really liked it.
Okay, so was Sylvester Stallone and crew in it? Yes.
Yeah.
Sylvester. You see, he's like literally he pops up in the first 5 minutes. Like Sylvester Stallone is in it, which is pretty. The Ravagers, yeah, they're in it. So in my opinion, let's see, how many Phase 4 shit have I seen? I've saw Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. I've seen Loki. I've seen WandaVision, and I've watched and I've seen What If. I know What If is canonical a little bit. And Spider-Man No Way Home. So those are the only ones I watch. I haven't seen
I should
any
watch
yet.
that. I should watch No Way Home because I know it's legendary.
Watch it. It's good. Here's the thing though, Grae, before we talk a little bit more about No Way Home, have you watched the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans and the Tobey Maguire
And Tobey
Spider-Man?
Maguire, yes, I did.
So if you watch both of them, this No Way Home is gonna hit pretty hard in terms of like the feels. You're like, oh man, nostalgia and shit like that.
That's the only one I'm missing. That's the only Spider-Man movie I'm missing.
Yeah. You see, you mean the Where's Mordo movie in Doctor Strange 2? Yeah, literally, yeah. Mordo basically became a fucking good guy. It's stupid. He's like a good guy because he's in a different universe. Yeah. Yeah, yes. No Way Home is Sony. Yeah, true. It is Sony, but it's still tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But
yeah, the funny thing about Sony owning, like a few years ago, didn't we want that Sony just give the entire IP to Marvel? And now it's because of this movie that it's owned by Sony that's the reason why it became the actual only good Phase 4 movie.
yeah. But in terms of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I would say this is probably the best movie outside of No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's the
Agreed.
best movie outside of No Way Home. There's no like Grae said, there's no like woke pandering identity politics, fucking critical race theory bullshit saying that, women are strong too or anything like that. There's none of that shit in here. Um was the movie like really, really good where you need to go watch it and pay money for it? That's subjective. But
Yeah.
I would say if you really like the first two Guardians movie, like really, really like if you're saying that, okay, what's your favorite Guardians movie? I mean, not favorite, but what's your favorite Marvel movie? A lot of people will say Thor Ragnarok, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, right? And what's it called again? And Guardians 1. Like those are always the top 4 I hear. If your favorite movie is Guardians 1 and you really, really enjoyed Guardians 2, then Guardians 3 is like, yeah, you should probably go watch it in the theater. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
Yep.
Overall, I do agree with you. It is, in my opinion, an order of operations in terms of which one I like better. The first one is the best, the third one is the second best, and the second one is the third. This one hits harder in terms of the filios, the honey nut filios. This one hits a
Yeah.
little bit more. Um, you sort of see in the trailers, if you've seen the trailers, you sort of know who is going to be a story, what's the story is going to be about. It's because he shows the character a lot. And another thing is, I'm not giving you spoilers, but if you hate seeing animal abuse, this might be very hard for you to watch.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it will be pretty hard for you to watch, is because there's a lot of like, even though there's CGI, chat, even though there's CGI,
Mhm.
there's a lot of like animal abuse. Like and it's hard to watch, and it's yeah, there are parts. There's like one part where I teared up, where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is it hits pretty good.
Mhm.
But Jeremy said he liked it. Yeah. In terms of like a score, I would say this is like a solid like 7.5. I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah. Yeah.
a 7.5.
Exactly the same. That's what I had in my mind too.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, pretty normie, so you'll like Guardians 3. Guardians 3 is good. It's a very good, like, it wraps itself in a nice bow, and it's like, okay, here we
Mm.
go. Whoever's gonna be taking charge of Guardians now because James Gunn is part of DC. Like, here you go. The story's here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and read this article first before we actually go into spoilers. So this is some battling in the comics. Even though I think the movie is good in terms of like people liking it, I'm not sure how much money it's going to make, right? Because it's based off of numbers and hearing,
Yeah.
people are
It's
talking
not
about it.
looking good. Yeah. It's again. It's not. It's as per the others, as per usual, as per Ryan, as per Yellow Flash.
Mhm.
It's in line with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Sadly.
It's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. And the thing is that this one is actually good too. Like I remember
Mhm.
I was watching a non-spoiler review from Tyrone Magnus, and he's like, "This is how you do it. No woke shit.
Yeah. Yeah. He
None of
was
that
really
shit."
happy.
Like he was super happy about it, right? He
Yeah.
gave it 4 out of 5 woos, right? But let's see. So this is from Bounty in the Comics. Alleged Marvel insider claims Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 floundering at the box office could be the beginning of the end for the cinematic universe. Alleged Marvel insider recently shared his thoughts on if the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 flounders at the box office, as recent projections indicate it will. It could be the beginning of the end for the MCU. This inside information comes from amid recent reports that the film's projected box office continues to decline towards Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania territory, a film that lost on the conservative end 40 million for Marvel Studios. Projections at the Box Office Pro claim that the film will only bring in 115 million in its opening weekend. This is significantly down for the initial long-range projection, where they claimed it will bring anywhere from 120 to 155 million in its opening weekend. To be honest, that's not even that much. Like for
Yeah.
like a good Marvel movie, like it wasn't even
Yeah.
that much. But here's the thing, though.
Yeah. They lowered that projection.
Yeah, what
Even lower.
what happened in Guardians of the Galaxy? I remember exactly where I was. I was at Disney Interactive, right? I was at Disney Interactive, and then I heard people were like gonna talk about. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go watch Guardians. I'm gonna go watch Guardians, and then the following week, everyone was like, it's word of mouth. It's like, oh my god, Guardians of the Galaxy was so fucking good. It was so good. Like I had no idea who they were. Oh my god, I laughed. It was interesting. I love the characters. Oh my god, it's so good. But the thing is that I think ever since I would consider what James Gunn did and brought with Guardians of the Galaxy was sort of like a double-edged sword. Is because after Guardians of the Galaxy 1 did so well, is because it was comedic, it was funny. Everything sort of became like that,
Seem like
right?
that. Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like everything sort of became like that. And like was it Thor Ragnarok became literally a comedy. Like half the time
Yeah.
is funny. And every time like and everything sort of has to have like a funny joke, funny joke, funny joke. Right? Oh, there's only
Mhm.
sometimes where it's like serious, like you have I think Civil War was a little serious. Infinity War serious, but like they always bring in those like funny moments. And
Mhm.
I think sometimes it takes away from a lot of it is because there wasn't a lot of like funny, like haha, like joking all the time moments. And that's where they fucked up big time with Thor Love and Thunder. Right. They completely like that thing was literally a comedy show and like everyone just fucking hated it. All right. You're asking, is Howard the Duck in Guardians 3? I can talk about that now, or we can talk about it in spoilers. But yeah. Uh But I don't know. Yeah, this is in my opinion. I think this is pretty bad for them. Like even though the fact that this movie's doing pretty good, but you won't when another Guardians come out, you won't have the same feel. Is because James Gunn is no longer in charge of it.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine it's gonna take a drastic change in tone.
Yeah,
Whoever's gonna pick it up.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be bad, man. Do you think it's gonna get as? Do you think it's gonna beat Quantum Mania though?
It has a chance for me. It has a chance of beating Quantumania
Okay,
because I mean, there's the good word of mouth. Quantumania didn't have that.
okay. All right, so I'm gonna read this right over. This quote is like, as a source told me, if the film fails to even reach 108 million, which seems unlikely, surely it can hit 110 plus. Even I'm just if it doesn't hit 120 million, I'll be shocked. But according to the source inside Marvel, they are referring to this as an e-stop moment. An e-stop moment, which is emergency stop. This is at there's a red button for every attraction. When you hit that button, everything stops. I accidentally hit this button at Universal Studios when I was working there because I was falling asleep. So I leaned back while the show was running. I leaned back and I was like, "Oh fuck!" All the lights turned on. I'm like, "Oh fuck! I fucked up." Right. So basically, e-stop. The e-stop moment, which is a reference to Disney attractions when they have a need to completely stop their attractions so that no one is hurt or harmed, or there's a significant malfunction. That's called an e-stop, where the ride completely comes to an end. And apparently, that is what is being banded about now, because here's what the source says: the tremendous fear inside Marvel at the moment with all the higher ups is that whereas they could once count a huge number of Marvel fans coming to the support of the movies in the opening weekend, Quantum Mania showed that the bottom may have fallen out. And if Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 follows that same trend and fails to hit the 110 million mark, if it comes close to Quantum Mania, then the bottom is gone permanently. Yeah, so basically they really hope this movie does good,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
because if this movie doesn't do good, then they're like, fuck, the
yeah,
Marvels is gonna suck big time,
yeah,
right? And it
for
really
sure.
is gonna suck because you have Brie Larson in it and Captain Marvel and it looks
Yeah.
looks pretty bad. But I don't know, man. Do you think Marvel will ever gain back their popularity in the future? Like how they were like at the height of like Endgame and like Infinity War.
Not to that level, but I think they can do a rebound, but it's gonna take a major overhaul in terms of the people they currently in their corporate structures. Like because
Mhm.
there's just too many woke people in there right now. It's like
Yeah.
no matter what the rank and file do, it's like they're gonna have to obey the orders of these woke people. It's like, no, virtue signal this, virtue signal that. It's like they don't really have
Yeah.
a choice. They have to follow it. So those people need to go. And maybe the Writers Guild strike is a perfect opportunity for that, honestly. Right? So
Yeah.
maybe it's a chance for them to eliminate these people.
Yeah. So the American Ninja says the MCU died after Endgame for me. I'm not interested in them anymore. Yeah. The thing is that like what villain can you have that's as big as Thanos, right? Like maybe Galactus, and that's a maybe, right? But the thing is that Thanos in the Infinity War saga, or in the Infinity Gauntlet stuff that's in the comics, was so big, right? It was so big because I actually read it. I read like a digital version of it, and it was so crazy how like everything happened. Like they brought in the X-Men, like Spider-Man was in it. They brought in all these like other superheroes, like holy shit. And then like they actually Adam Warlock is actually fucking important. Like he's actually like the reason why like Thanos was defeated. Like holy shit. And then when you watch when you at the end of Guardians 2, you're like, I shall name him Adam. And you see Adam Warlock's cocoon, right? You see his cocoon thing. And he doesn't fucking appear. He's not in Endgame. He's not in Infinity War. So it's not the same thing that we knew in the comics. And that's the reason why some people were like, I wished Adam Warlock was released earlier, is because he was actually an important character. Right. So let's see. If it's not as good as the first one, I'm not interested in it. I've been underwhelmed by Marvel sequels enough, and they've been pissy little bees with the TV property. So screw them. Let's see. They changed the reputation of Marvel from best movies to predictable movies. Yeah. You say Mephisto? I think Mephisto could be pretty good, right? You can bring in a bunch of the Hell characters, Blackheart, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna bring in like the Nova Corps eventually. Like Nova Corps was announced already in like Guardians ones, but like there is an actual like Nova, right? He's not there yet. You don't have any of the legit cool shit that people are waiting for. No X-Men, none of that shit, right? So who knows? But let's see. The villain can be less OP, but the question is, which character in the MCU going forward do you care about being threatened by a villain? What's the investment in any hero fighting for their life? I would say the only next set of characters I can see are the X-Men and maybe Fantastic Four, right? Because Fantastic Four, you have Doctor Doom and you have Galactus, and then you have Silver Surfer. So who knows? We'll see. But Grae, are you like very in like well versed in like a lot of like what the comic lore is like in terms of like
Nope,
Marvel stuff? No, so
not
like
really.
whatever is like in the movies is what your knowledge is.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
All right.
So
Now
normie.
chat. Yeah, so I'm a little bit normie too, but I do know a lot of backstory in terms of a lot of these characters. All right, but we will go into spoiler now for Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't have a little sign that pops up to go, and then it shows like spoiler, So I'm gonna give you spoiler warnings right now. So if you guys want to mute, you guys want to leave anything, or you guys don't care, you guys can hang out, and if you want. But we'll be talking about spoilers for the next maybe half an hour or so. So I think overall the movie was pretty good. The movie was what 2 hours and like 30 minutes or so, right?
Yeah, pretty long actually. It's pretty
Okay.
long.
So according to your question, I think who asked that question about if Howard the Duck, Danny Tate, Howard the Duck is in it, but for a short amount of time. He's not in it for that long. He's in it like sort of near the end of the movie, maybe like quarter like about to finish
Wait,
the movie. That's when he shows up.
wait. Who is how? Sorry, I'm not familiar with that character.
Howard the Duck is the Howard the Duck was actually like a TV show. I forgot. But it was like he's a character in that's a part of he is an MCU, but they actually had a Howard the Duck TV show, or I forgot. I didn't watch. I didn't watch Howard the Duck stuff. But this is Howard the Duck in the OG. In MCU, he looks different. So the first time you saw Howard the Duck was, I believe, Guardians 2.
Yeah,
Right,
I
so
hardly
Howard the
remember
Duck.
Guardians.
So,
Oh, okay.
so this is Howard the Duck in Guardians 2. But he looks way different in Guardians 3. In Guardians 3, he looks way different. Well, Howard the Duck was a movie. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so Howard the Duck, the movie. So he was in this one. I believe he's like he was playing cards or some shit like that. I forgot what it was. But he's a pretty cool character, and I know a lot of people like him. So we'll see. I believe he was also in this one too. This one. I think that's also him as well. But Brie Larson going to need a lot more padding to save MCU. Absolutely, yeah. He's Kung Fu Hugh Hefner with Epic Cool. Yeah, so he actually knows how to fight and stuff like that. So I guess a lot of people saying that Howard the Duck is supposed to be like a version of Stan Lee, maybe. or Hugh Hefner.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
No, not Stanley. Yeah, Hugh Hefner. Yeah, he's supposed to be like a there was this one thing where he's actually looking at this magazine called Play Duck, where it's actually pretty funny. So I think that's in the Howard Duck movie. But all right. So like I said, chat, uh if you hate like any type of like animal torture, animal abuse, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah,
this
yeah,
movie
for
is
sure.
all about Rocket Raccoon,
Yep. Yep.
right? So in like the first like 5 minutes, I forgot what the fuck they were doing. They were like talking and some shit like that. And all of a sudden, boom, out of the sky, Adam Warlock shows up. Right. And Adam Warlock, I forgot who's he's played by that one dude who's supposed to be he's from
Will something. I see him often too in other shows.
Poulter,
Will some.
Will Poulter, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Heading out, guys. Enjoy the show. I'll be around. Hail, Eggroll, hail, chat. Take care, dude.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hail the Lord. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, he was in the first Guardians one at the end of the movie. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Adam Warlock shows up, and he's basically like his role was sort of like a bounty hunter, right? He came like I believe his the high council. I forgot what the girl with the yellow hair. I forgot. I
High
forgot her.
Society, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember the names either. Okay, I should type Guardians
So
3 cast.
she was in the second movie, right? So in the beginning of the movie, I believe like in Guardians 2, like they went to go steal batteries and they stole batteries from them, and then like they're all gold people. And then she was like, "Oh, I need to go stop them." So after having Adam Warlock, they went out to go. They wanted to basically grab they basically have Adam Warlock come in and sort of try to like grab all of them or kill all of them, right? He's basically like a bounty hunter or something. And while all that happens, I believe what's it called again? Rocket Raccoon gets like really like injured where like he can't breathe and shit like that. So basically they have to take him to the place that where he was made in order to save him because they have the technology. Now, the bad guy is actually pretty good. He's a good bad guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
And
like them too.
yeah, like I would say he's on the levels of like in terms of bad guys, like he's actually on like a person that you love to hate. Like you really, really hate this guy. Like you actually want to like punch this bad guy because he's
Yeah.
the one who's actually torturing all the animals because he's basically trying to make like this perfect specimen and this perfect like species
Yeah.
where they can like have intellect
Yeah.
and he wants to
He
make his own world, right?
yeah, I think the best villain to compare him to is kind of like the ranking of
Oh
Killmonger in
yeah.
Black
Yeah.
Panther. Yeah.
I would say in terms of like backstory, like this guy was just like evil. He's just an evil dude thinking that he's doing the
Yeah,
right
except
thing, right?
he's more vicious and more
Yo,
he
what's
has good intentions, but yeah, the way he does it, it's incredibly evil. It's
yeah. Let's see. Yo, what's going on? The elite fan. Yo, what's happening? What is happening? Let's see. Let's see. I shot a porcupine last week. That was kind of what kind of animal abuse I talking about? So basically, like testing. You're like,
that's
like for instance, like Rocket Raccoon was like a tiny, like tiny raccoon. Like you could fit on your palm of your hand. So they brought it out. Like you basically grabbed the raccoon. I forgot the bad guy's name. Grabbed the raccoon, did experiments on it, and then like you see like it like being chained up and like the head is like being removed, the scalp is being removed, and the back it has a bunch of stuff like happening in the spine, and they're basically trying to like test these creatures, trying to make them smarter. And then once they're done with the experiment, they throw Rocket back inside the cell, and then he turns around and there's like 4 other creatures that are there. There's a sea otter, there's a
rabbit.
bunny, right? And and I think there's like a walrus or some shit like that.
Yeah, walrus.
Yeah. So yeah, Alec Baldwin shot a cinematographer once. True. But yeah, so you have and then you're like, oh shit. So this entire movie was basically them trying to figure out how to save and infiltrate that location where the bad guy is located. I forgot his name already. But this bad guy is like really, really, really shitty.
Yeah.
And he has superpowers too, But he has like a super like was this his suit that was able to do it? He has like the force push or some shit like that he can like
Yeah,
move shit.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure either because I'm not familiar with Guardian's lore. But I know
Mhm.
I think that maybe it's some machine or some device that he has inside him. I don't know. That's how I see it. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I thought that he had a name. It's just that I didn't hear it. But it turns out his name is the High Evolutionary. That's literally what he's called. He doesn't have a name. The
Yeah, the
high
high
he's called
evolutionary, yeah.
yeah.
So it's I'm still on the bounty in the comics one, but it's this guy in the middle, the black guy in the middle.
Yeah.
So this is him like when he was like younger and like he's basically trying to like like have like creatures that are really really smart.
Yeah, he wants to create the perfect society. So
Yeah.
anything, literally anything less, he or what he perceives to be less, he eliminates or disposes.
Yeah, he kills them instantly.
Mhm.
So there's this thing where there's like this like tube that they put like a turtle in there, and it's like, oh, we're gonna instantly evolve this creature like thousands of years. So they put the turtle in there, and then like and he's like showing Rocket because Rocket's like the smartest one so far. Like that's actually like really really smart. And he put the turtle in there, and the turtle evolves into like this crazy like turtle thing that has like this crazy rage and anger. And he's like, I need to have this stop. Like I can't have this guy be so angry. So I don't know what to do. So he's like, all right, it's like get rid of it. And then they're
Yeah.
like, what are you supposed to do? Incinerate them. Right. So basically
Mhm.
he presses the button and literally just like whoosh, instantly dies. Right. So it's like basically like animal torture, animal abuse, and stuff like that. And the thing is that like when Rocket's thrown into that cell where he meets the otter and the other animals, they all can talk as well.
Yeah.
So you see Rocket like where Rocket is from, right? And you see this all in like in segments of like him dreaming because like he's unconscious the entire time,
Mhm.
right? So I don't but they right at the beginning after that happens, I believe the Ravagers show up with like Sylvester Stallone and
Yeah, yeah.
Gamora is actually part of the Ravagers.
Mhm.
And this is the Gamora that was with Thanos in Endgame. So she was still bad. But the Nebula that's with them is the Nebula that's a good guy. So like Peter Quill, like Star Lord's trying to like, do you remember us? Do you remember this? And he's like, no, I'm not the same
No.
person,
Yeah.
right? And it's like some of the comedy it wasn't as funny as I thought it was gonna be. Like I think some of them were trying really really hard. Some of Drax's stuff was actually pretty funny. Did you find the movie funny overall? It was a little bit more
Yeah,
serious, right?
some of them were actually funny and some didn't really stick the landing with me. So yeah, it's a hit or miss.
Do
But
you
yeah.
remember which one that like was funny?
Mm, I kind of like the Drax moment when he first interacted with the kids when
Mhm.
he understood them the whole time. I think that was pretty cute and funny.
Yeah, he goes
And
up to him, he's like, "What up, morons?"
yeah,
Call them idiots. Ooh, what up, what's going on, idiots? Yeah, so this image right over here is Rocket, the bunny. So basically, Rocket is like walking and talking. The bunny has all the limbs removed and was with attached with spider legs. The walrus has like wheels attached to his legs, and the otter has the arms removed, has her arms removed and replaced with like robotic arms. So yeah, this guy is just testing on a bunch of animals and basically want to apply it to humans. Is because and and out of all the creatures that they tested on, only Rocket was able to comprehend and know the theories and stuff like that, can able to solve questions really, really quickly and make stuff really, really fast. So he wants Rocket, but Rocket somehow escapes. He escapes over here. But prior to escaping, he basically like shoots the bad guy, the high evolutionary bad guy, but at the same time, like his men shows up and kills the other three. So like,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead, go
Actually,
ahead.
the High Evolutionary kills the seal, the one on
Yeah, kills
top.
the sea, kills the sea
Yeah,
otter, and then the
yeah.
other, and then what's it called again? The men kill the other two.
Kill the other two. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
he gets like super pissed, and he fucking jumps up on like fucking
he
berserker
scrap.
barrages like the high evolutionary's face. It's like like fucking fucks up his face, and this is like when Rocket's like still really small, like he's not full grown yet, and he somehow escapes. And he escapes. He grabs a ship and he escapes. So basically, that's how he gets out. And did you think his backstory was like tragic and like sad, like what he went through?
Yeah, it's pretty sad. I like the touch when he was about to be revived. I like the vision that he had when he saw all three of them. So can I join you? It's like, of course you can. Then I like that moment. It's like I actually thought, oh, what's gonna happen? Is he legit gonna go with him then? And then
Mhm.
when the seal was stopping him, oh, okay, he's gonna come back.
Not yet.
But not that yet.
Right.
Yeah, I like that moment. That was really good.
Yeah, but I think overall it was pretty good. I think the bad guy, like let me see if I can find the high evolutionary.
Sounds yeah. Alan Voss says sounds very political. Yeah, I watched Critical Drinker's take on it. It's like the topic of this. Yeah, it's a bigger issue than what this movie is trying to imply. Is that he mentioned that the topic the theme of this movie. It's like the theme in itself deserves its entire movie, but that theme on top of being a Guardians movie, it kind of eroded the severity of the topic, which I kind of agree.
Yeah. Yeah, like it definitely shows like like testing on animals is bad. Right? Someone mentioned Dr. Fauci, right? Right? Like testing on animals is fucked up. Don't do it. Like so this one is the high evolutionary at his current state. And like for me, I'm like, what's wrong with his head? Right? It sort of reminds if you look at it, it sort of has like if you guys ever watched RoboCop, whenever RoboCop takes off his mask, his helmet, it looks like his head is sort of like laced on, right? It sort of reminds me of that, right?
Mhm.
Without helmet. Uh let's see if I can find an image. Yeah, sort of reminds me of this. Um, right? It sort of looks like this, right? His head, like the back of
Yeah,
his scalp is like that. So like if you look over here, like his head's over here, and then the mask is like, or his head or his face is like peeled on. Because that's what
yeah,
it looks like the entire time. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it sort of looks like that, right? So at the end when they beat him up, um, was it I think Rocket removes that from his face,
y-
right?
yeah,
Like he removes it, and basically all is under is basically it's just a mask, and it's basically is nothing under. It's just his flesh is all under. So like that's sort of like scary as a kid if you're watching. It's like ugh, right?
yeah,
Because
kinda.
it's like worse than Red Skull because you actually see like the blood and like the sliminess of it. So it's,
Mhm.
it's it's sort of worse than Red Skull. But they did drop one f bomb though. They did drop one f bomb. It's it was a part where I think like they were trying to like get in the car, and then like
Oh,
and then
Nebula?
Not Gamora, Nebula doesn't know how to open the car
Uh-huh.
door because it's like a 70s car. It's like get in, and it's like I can't. It's like press the button. It's like what button? It's like I am pressing the button. It's like you're pressing the keyhole. Press the other button. Okay, now what do I do? Get in the fucking car, right? I was like, oh, okay, right. There was actually like but it was actually like an f bomb there. I'm like, oh, I wonder how parents will feel about that. But this one is a more dark, like in terms of tone, right?
Yeah,
Because there's
for
actually a lot
sure.
of like sad moments.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. What's it called again? Did you like how they ended it though? Because at the end of the movie, like every like sort of almost everyone goes their separate ways.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Mhm.
Uh, I guess so, yeah. I mean, if you are heavily shipping Peter and Gamora, you'll probably be disappointed. But,
Yep.
uh but as I think in terms of realism, given the story setting, it's fine. It's like if the if whoever's gonna take up if someone's gonna make a Guardians 4, then it's fine. If you want to bring them back together, then it's okay too.
Mhm.
But I think in terms of realism and how it was built up, I think how it ended for the two of them is okay. And yeah, I get the feeling that Mantis might get her own TV show.
Maybe, right? Mantis basically goes off by herself with like 3 like pets that she could
Yeah,
sort of like befriends. So
yeah.
she can do that. And I believe Peter, which is the Star Lord, he goes back to Earth and like
Finds his grandfather. Yeah.
he meets his grandfather. And
Mhm.
like I'm like, okay, so I want so is that it? So like, basically the leader the Guardians is Rocket Raccoon, right? Basically, Rocket becomes the leader. And but am I okay? What are your thoughts on Adam Warlock?
Oh, yeah. I think he's really underutilized. I think he could have done much more rather than
Mm,
being just like the follower, like following people's orders and then suddenly, yeah, ending up just saving the day, sort of. It's like I don't really know much about him, so this would have been the opportunity to learn more about his backstory because I'm pretty sure he's gonna have his own movie, right?
he
He's gonna
might,
have his own movie. Yeah,
but okay. In my opinion, I think Adam Warlock should have been released like
way back.
he probably should have had his own movie or his or like he should have been like a character, like a very important character in like maybe like after Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So Adam Warlock, he's supposed to be like the perfect being. And the thing is that in this one, he's like a clown. He's sort of like he's jokes
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's sort of stupid. He doesn't know what he's
yeah,
doing,
yeah,
right? And it's but he's like basically he's like a jock. He's like a big guy that like that can fly and can do everything. But in my opinion, like I agree with you. They underutilized him, and he was sort of like he basically like he's the one who saves Star Lord from dying in
yep,
space. But
yep.
the thing is, like, doesn't Star Lord have his mask, like, where the fuck is that? Where? How?
Yeah, yeah,
Why did he
yeah.
not
Well,
use that anymore?
yeah, I don't know why either.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah, it didn't really when his mom died, it didn't really impact me because like we didn't really spend that much time with his mom, and the mom
yeah,
acted kind of like was working for the bad guys anyway. So it's like
yeah,
it didn't really hit hard as it probably gun intended,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, that point's like mom, and then boom, and then oh okay,
Yeah. Okay.
that's it. All right. So chat can correct me because I know people who reads the comics. So Adam Warlock is supposed to be a perfect being, and during this time, when Adam Warlock was sort of introduced, in the Infinity Saga, like shit's already like sort of going down, right? Yeah, that's Frank Gore. Yeah,
Thank
I
Gore.
saw that one yesterday. I saw that shit. That was so good. He looked exactly like him. It was amazing. But yeah, so during this time, what's it called? Thanos basically got the Infinity Gauntlet is to make Death love him, right? So Death is actually in love with Deathpool, not Deadpool. The reason why Death is a lady. So Lady Death loves Deadpool is because Deadpool cannot die, right? And the thing is that Thanos really, really likes Lady Death. So he got the Infinity Gauntlet to use that so he can get her to love him. That's the story of the Infinity Saga. So what happens? He goes through hell and high water to get all the stones and stuff like that. And knowing that he might kill everything, he might fuck everything up. Uh Yo, what's going on, Dan? How's it going, man? Um, what happens at that time? He's basically he knowing that he's gonna like he has the ability to completely wipe away existence. So the Avengers come in, X-Men come in, and they're basically all getting fucked, right? I believe you know when Thanos like sort of like turns like when I forgot when they were trying to in Infinity War when the Guardians were trying to fight Thanos, like he sort of like turns them into like spaghetti or some shit like that, right? Turns them into little blocks. He basically does that to a lot of the Avengers, and it's pretty wild. And he does that to the Avengers. He does that to some of the X-Men characters, and he sort of fucks up Nebula and stuff like that. And they were losing. Adam Warlock comes in, sort of takes charge of everything, and he turns the tide because he's smart. He outsmarts Thanos and everything. And he's actually strong. He's the only being that's strong enough to use the Infinity Gauntlet without dying, other than Thanos, because Thanos is a mad titan. So he basically saves the day. He's the only one who can take control of the Infinity Gauntlet, and he basically wields the gauntlet and fucking gets rid of Thanos and everything. Right. And it's in this movie, he's basically like a side character.
Yeah.
And it sucks is because Adam Warlock is such a big role in the comics, and he sort of becomes like a sort of like a little bitch here. And it's not important. Yeah. Let's see. It's sad, man. It's like one really cool thing was what's it called again? Right, during the Infinity Saga in the comics, there's one time where like Thanos uses the Infinity Gauntlet to sort of dismantle Nebula and tortures her, right?
Mhm.
And I think he sort of reverts that afterwards, like or someone fixes her. I forgot what happens to her, but somehow Nebula was able to get a hold of the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's like, "I'm gonna turn back time to before you got the gauntlet and all the stones. Fuck that shit." So she turned back time, but she didn't know how much to turn back. So when she turned back time, she was in her sort of like her fucked up form, her dismantled form. And then Thanos
Mhm.
just grabs the gauntlet. It's like, you fool, right? It's crazy. It's like if you haven't read the Infinity Saga, I highly recommend you to read it. It's actually really, really cool. When you read it, you're like, oh man, that would have been so much better if we had that in movie form
The
versus
movie, yeah.
what we saw. Granted, what we saw was pretty good, but because was only um a danger towards like the Avengers in terms of the superheroes, right? It's only the Avengers. But the X-Men were like so important too. It's and you had in Fantastic Four, right? Because you had Reed Richards and like fucking Tony Stark and Bruce Banner trying to like come up with ideas on how to take him down, and they didn't work, right? It was only Adam Warlock was able to like sort of take charge and become the commander and everything. But yeah, it's wild. So if you have an ability to buy it, if possible, it was gonna be really expensive. But if you can get it online, like I highly recommend you get it. See, so Anonymous, in my head canon, Thanos won, and Infinity War was the end of the MCU. Yep, basically after Infinity War, he sits there, he becomes Farmer Thanos. He's like,
Wins.
Thanos wins, right? But yeah, it's pretty cool though. But overall, did you enjoy the movie? You said you cried a couple moments. Which part did you cry? Like,
When yeah, in the rocket moments, like in the when his friends died, when I thought that he might actually legit die. Mostly it's the rocket moments. Yeah, it's a shame that Guardian stuff is being overshadowed. Like I heard the game was really really good, but it was
yeah, I heard
overshadowed.
too.
But it was overshadowed because of how terrible Avengers was, and now this movie's not doing so well because of Marvel's track record of late. So yeah, kind of a shame.
Yeah. I was following a streamer who actually played the game. He said that this is actually really fun. Like it was really, really good. And then he also played the Avengers one and is like, yeah, it's not that great. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And I think the characters didn't look appealing. Like, uh, what's it called again? I think like Black Widow looks like an old mom or something. But it's crazy. But the cool thing is, if you guys are big fans of Firefly, Nathan Fillion actually plays a small part in this movie. He's actually plays like he was a part of the. I think they're trying to infiltrate and get like some information or some shit like that when they're wearing their Among Us outfit. When they sneak in, the white guy that they meet the first time, that's Nathan Fillion. So Nathan Fillion is actually in there. It's actually pretty cool. If
Yeah, that
Nathan Fillion's cool.
I find I couldn't take the part. What's I don't know the flesh satellite, the flesh planet. Their
Oh yeah,
outfits are
the
so
Flash Planet,
funny.
yeah,
Their outfits are so funny.
yeah.
I
They
couldn't
look
take
like
them
Among Us
seriously.
characters, right? They're like, oh, this is Among Us.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like that you're trying to bake something in the oven. It's like that it got so bloated. They look like that.
they look like bread, like
Yeah,
bloated bread.
yeah, bloated bread.
But yeah, a rocket is like a talking dog. It's impossible to like here. Speaking of talking dogs, we also have Cosmo, the space dog, which is pretty cool. I did like her. I wish she was in more stuff, but I know she was more of like a side character. Same thing with James Gunn's brother. I believe he also plays a big part too because he took on Yondu's his little arrow and his mohawk thing.
Yeah, what's the
That's
name
pretty
of
cool.
the? Oh, I see. Kraglin. His name is Kraglin.
Craiglin? I don't know. I just call him James Gunn's brother. That's the reason why he's in the movie. But yeah, overall, I think I like I said, I give the movie like a 7.5. It's enjoyable. I did tear up a couple of times. Um, there are two post credits. I believe the first one is I think Rocket was like on a planet with the new Guardians of the Galaxy, which is like one of
No,
the
no,
kids that they
that's the second
rescued.
one. That's the second one.
That's the second one. Oh,
The fir-
wait. So the first one was Peter Quill with his grandfather.
yep, yep.
Okay. Yeah. So it's pretty cool, right? And then yeah, but the hallway scene was pretty cool. The hallway fight scene, I think it's like the big fight scene they had is like a one shot kind of thing. That was pretty cool. Like all the Guardians came in and they fought like a bunch of
Yeah.
the crazy
Do you,
like
do
creatures
you
and
know
stuff.
who? Sorry, the second post credit scene. Do you know who the little girl is? I know she's one of the girls they rescued in the ship, but I don't know who she is.
I don't know. Let me see. Post. See.
I'm yeah. Given her background, I find her just interesting because like she's born from the high society or whatever the group is called. So that's gonna make an interesting backstory.
Phi Lavelle.
Who's that? I
Phi
don't know. Who that is.
Lavelle. Okay, Phi Lavelle is actually an LGBT character.
Okay, that's fine.
So let me show. So Phi Lavelle has a sword and a cape. So I do know her because she was actually in the game I worked on. Phi
Uh,
Lavelle. Uh, she has a really cool sword, and she has a cool sword. Let me see.
it makes sense given her backstory, so it's fine.
Yeah. So this is her. I'll show you right now. She looks like that.
Oh
Right.
wow.
She has like blonde hair. Yes, Phi Lavelle.
I hope they apply this in what if they're gonna make a Guardians for.
Yeah. So she does have a sword. Like she sort of have like a sword or a spear, and she has a cape. And she has like
Yeah.
cosmic powers. And the thing is that she's actually in love with this girl called Moondragon, which is another
Mm.
character that I'm pretty sure they're going to introduce this because they both are lovers.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
they have to include that. It's because it's part of the LGBT
It's
community.
Marvel
They
on
have to.
brand for sure. Yeah,
It's a must.
it's yeah for sure.
Yeah. So this is Moondragon. This one's Moondragon. So they're lovers. So she's like a ball. Like she has like psychic powers. She has like psychic powers. She can do like psychic blast, key blast, and stuff like that with her mind. So that's
Mm.
they're lovers. So that's the little girl. So I didn't know that. I had to Google it. I was like little girl, and I was like Phi Lavelle. I was like I know who that is. But it's
I
pretty
see.
cool. They are part of the Infinity Watch team. So Adam
Okay.
Warlock, Phi Lavelle, and Moondragon are the three people who are part of the Infinity Watch. So what the Infinity Watch does is they're making sure that nothing like the Thanos stuff will happen again. They're basically like cops for people like the Mad Titan and shit like that. So like they're like even the thing is as you can tell, like Adam Warlock, he's like fucking indestructible. Like he can't
Yeah.
fucking die. So so it's pretty neat that they have that in there. So there's a lot of Easter eggs if you're like very into the comics. Like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be an Infinity Watch movie, maybe soon, or maybe in the future. But they already have all this shit planned out, right? Kang Dynasty and shit like that. To be honest, if this bad guy, this bad guy is more, I like this bad guy more than Kang.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah,
Oh, but then again, I haven't seen Quantumania, but it's about to release in Disney Plus really soon. It's
mhm.
incredibly fast, like next week. So yeah,
Okay.
I just lost patience when Scott's daughter talked about protests, but I'll
That's
power
like in the
through it.
beginning of the movie.
Yeah, the protest. Oh God,
I was like,
stop
nope,
it.
click. Not for me. Let's see. Yeah, they are. They're basically, they're basically getting the Dragon Radar from Bulma from Capsule Corp, and then they're going around to different planets to look for the Super Dragon Ball, so they can bring back Super Kame Guru, right? But yeah. So spoilers are done. We're not gonna talk about Guardians anymore. Overall, the movie is good. If you have the ability and you want to go watch it, go watch it. Or if you want, you can just wait until it comes on Disney Plus. But
Yeah.
overall, it's pretty good. I recommend it, and
Mhm.
it's definitely a fun watch. Definitely definitely a little sad, but overall very good. Very
Yeah.
good.
Agreed.
All right, so let's talk about one last thing. And I hate that I watched it. I
I said it
hate
was a mess. It's a
it was
masterpiece.
awful. It's an hour and 40 it was an hour 40 minutes I will never get back. And they basically turned Peter Pan into a little bitch,
And a
right?
bad guy. He's a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter
Like
Pan is the bad guy in Peter Pan and Wendy.
I didn't think they would go. I imagined they would just make him really incompetent, but I didn't think they would make him the actual villain. But they did it. They did it.
Yeah.
He's
It's
the villain in my books.
yeah. So basically, like, God, there's so much shit that I want to talk about, right? So first and foremost, Tinkerbell actually did not hate her.
Yeah,
Did not
she's
Tinkerbell was actually not a problem.
Mhm.
I'm the only problem I have is it was the race swap. But other than that, the actor did a good job. Didn't come off as a character that I didn't dislike. However, what I wanted was what happened in the movie. Did you watch the movie recently? The
uh
cartoon. The cartoon.
the 1953 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say, like, watching it, because what I did before watching Peter Pan, I watched 1953. I watched Return to Neverland, which is the daughter of Wendy. Then I watched Peter Pan and Wendy. Like, I wanted to say that the whoever voiced Captain Hook in 1953, it's really
So
really good,
it's so good. The
amazing. Yeah,
OG Peter Pan is really good.
yeah. The guy who voiced Captain Hook was like, you
Yeah.
could really feel he was enjoying the role. It's like,
Yeah.
damn man. I wanted to say that.
But yeah, it's so what's it called again? So the start of the movie, you're in the Darling's house and they're doing their shit and stuff like that. Fucking she goes to sleep and then they're talking about Peter Pan and stuff like that and Neverland. And Tinkerbell shows up. All right, Tinkerbell shows up. Wendy starts flying, and then all of a sudden, like she wakes up. He's like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" And her brother's like, "Oh my god, you're flying!" And then Peter Pan shows up. It's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Peter Pan and shit." All right, let's go to Neverland. Like the race swaps, it's not. I prefer Peter Pan to be a white redhead, like the cartoon. But it makes sense that they race swapped Peter Pan to what's it called again? An Indian guy is because there's a lot of Indian people in London, right? So there's a lot because I think London actually was in charge of India for a little bit, so it makes sense. So okay, so you're a little Indian boy that became that you're Peter Pan, and then you went off to Neverland and stuff like that. So the whole flying with the Big Ben and stuff, that's pretty cool. I like that. That sequence was cool. When they get to Neverland area. Yo, what's going on, Taylor? How's it going, man? What's
Hello.
happening? What's happening? Um, what's it called again? The first thing was like what Grae remind me was, but it's like the first thing they showed up, they're flying, and then one of the pirates are like, "Look, Peter Pan is back," and then they shoot them out of the sky, right?
They try to. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was this one. I didn't mention it in my video, but do you remember the scene where they got hit by the cannonball? It's like I had the same thoughts as Critical Drinker. That would have killed them,
Yeah,
man.
they would have died.
That would have killed them.
Yeah, they were
There
like,
was some-
and they shot them, right? They
yeah,
yeah, they would have fucking died,
yeah,
dude.
not a scratch, not a
Okay.
scratch.
So the whole thing, so after they get blasted, right? They didn't die, they didn't get shot off the sky, and they hid in the rock, and then Captain Hook found them, shot the rock, and then they blew up. Yo, 100 likes, let's go. Yo, thank you for so much
Yeah, thank you
for the
so
likes in
much.
the chat. Yeah, thank you so much. You have 31 viewers right now, which is fantastic.
Mhm.
Thank you. Can't stress how appreciative we are. Thank you so much. But yeah, so they shoots them. Nothing happens. Peter Pan disappears for a little bit, and she wakes up, and the Lost Boys show up. Right, right. The Lost Boy shows up, and he's like, um, it's like what's it called again? And then you have the infamous scene. You guys aren't boys, so
Oh,
like I'm like,
yeah,
okay, sure.
the funny part about that, that's her only line. You don't. I was under the impression that that character is gonna be all throughout the film, gonna be like being incredibly obnoxious, very irritating. But that's her only line. So can you imagine if like she like auditions to other shows, or like she passes her resume? Oh, you're in Peter Pan and Wendy. So what did you do? I'm the girl who said so. That's
Oh
it.
no,
That's it.
here's an Oscar, right? Everyone starts clapping.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so and then they go into the cave, and then you fucking see Tiger Lily. And Tiger
Yeah.
Lily is like a strong, competent like woman that
Yeah.
speaks like half the time she speaks fucking Native American, half the time she speaks English.
English.
Stick to one
Just the
language,
one.
okay?
Yeah.
Right? So you
It's
go
just like
back and forth and stuff like that.
You're just blatantly showing off because everyone understands English anyway. So just stick with
Yeah.
English.
So my question is, did Peter get a crush on Wendy looking for his shadow? No. They didn't have it didn't feel like they had that kind of relationship. It didn't feel like they had that kind of
Yeah, yeah.
like
So to make it like it's they really belittle Peter Pan here. It's like
yeah.
the first thing that Wendy tells Peter Pan, I expected you to be smaller. That's literally what she says. I expected you to be smaller than when Peter Pan didn't know what a kiss was, because in the original, Wendy wanted to kiss him because she had a crush on him. But
Mhm.
here, she gives some. It's a shape of a bell. A bell like thing, bell like jewelry. This is a kiss, and he just believes her. So it's like, oh, this is a kiss. It's nice. So
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, they really degrade Peter Pan here on ridiculous
Yep.
levels.
So I think they wanted to remove that love scene is because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, not every character have to like one another. So and that's the reason
Mhm.
why they removed the hatred from not hatred, but like
The
because
rivalry.
Tinkerbell does not like
Like
Wendy,
Wendy,
right? In the cartoon,
yes.
right? They actually like, oh, because Tinkerbell is in love with Peter Pan.
Mhm.
But since like when because Wendy is like the first like female that's why Wendy is supposed to be very very important to the original lore. Wendy's supposed to be the first female that goes into Neverland, and that's why Peter is infatuated with her,
Mhm.
right? Because Tinkerbell doesn't really count because it's, you can't have sex with a tiny fairy. So he's like, okay, you're actual full grown, like a girl, and like I want more. I want you to introduce you to the Lost Boys, and that's the reason why it's a very very important that the Lost Boys has to be all boys, is because in the original lore and even in the books, the boys are so stupid they crawl out of bed and they get lost, and the girls are too smart, they stay in bed so they don't get lost. That's why all the boys are lost boys, not lost girls.
Mhm.
So that's why Peter is like, oh, Peter Pan is like, I really really like Wendy and stuff like that, and that's why Tinkerbell gets super super jelly. So that's completely removed, right? So that story is all gone now. So anyone can be a lost boy, anyone can be a lost girl, whatever. And
Mhm.
then, like you said, they really like they make Peter Pan like he's a little bitch,
Yeah.
right? He's incompetent. He doesn't know how to fight, and all the girls are better than him. And what
Yeah.
what thing that makes me even more upset is that these little kids can take down full grown adult men.
Yeah.
That's the stupid shit right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious? It's like and the one part where is like where Captain Hook like basically makes her walk the plank, right? And then he's like,
Yeah.
oh, you heard her splash, and she comes back up, and then he's like, you have the power of the boy, and then what did she say? This power belongs to no boy or some shit,
Yeah, something like that.
some bullshit like that. I'm like, oh my god, dude, are you fucking serious? And basically, Tiger Lily saves Peter from dying. She uses like
Like,
herbs and
yeah, some sort
the
of
herbs and
ointment,
spices that you get from KFC and puts it on his wound, and he gets better.
and he instantly comes back because Captain. That's another thing. Captain Hook, how the way he got killed by Captain Hook. Why didn't he just fly off? Why didn't he just or fight him back with his dagger? Why did he
Yeah,
just let Captain Hook just slash him? That's
yeah,
so strange.
like that one part where he goes he Captain Hook and his groups like basically infiltrate the Lost Boys like home or their house or whatever, and then it's because it was the Wendy was singing to the Lost Boys,
Yeah,
and
it's such that's sorry. That's it's such a huge landmass. Like, how did how did Captain Hook coincidentally be in the same area as they were? And another thing, since okay, like because given Captain Hook's history in this show, that should have been the first place where they searched, or he should have known the whole time, right?
mhm.
Yeah, well, we're gonna for those who don't know the backstory of Captain Hook in this show, yeah, we're gonna say it shortly. But he should have known that that should have been a place where they could have possibly been hiding.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it's so Captain Hook sneaks in because he wants to kill Peter Pan. But he goes up there and he's like, "We played hide and seek before, so I know where you are." So he jumps down. Peter Pan jumps down. He turns around and slashes him through the chest, and he goes, and he fucking falls down.
yeah,
I'm like, "Bitch, why you ain't flying, dude?"
yeah,
Maybe I don't know. Maybe his pixie dust flying superpower, it's like Super Mario. If you get hit, you lose it. I don't know,
But he didn't
but
get hit. He
yeah,
didn't get hit.
yeah. So I don't know. But the fact
And,
that he got so scared, right?
yeah, and Tinkerbell was beside him. So you can't say, oh, he didn't have pixie dust of that. Tinkerbell was beside him.
Yeah. And what's it called again? And the thing is that you made like, look, Tiger Lily was like, Tiger Lily. She's so strong. She could probably take out the entire
Entire crew.
Hook gang. Like, she basically went on board with like a fucking axe and a sword. She fucking did like barbarian whirlwinds
Yeah.
from fucking like Diablo 4,
Yeah.
spin the wind, and fucking killed all of them. And she's like, yeah, I'm fucking strong and shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? These are full adult men, and you're a tiny ass little girl. And yet you can take down all of them. And all of a sudden, like, every grown adult men are fucking stupid. Like, they are so dumb. And like, it's like, oh yeah, like, I don't know how to fight and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna hit, like, what's it called again? Like, the fucking little boy with the teddy bear hits one of them with like the telescope, or fucking like a fucking
Yeah,
club or some shit on the foot. And he's like, ow, ow, ow. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
Well,
stupid.
why are they so fascinated with a teddy bear? You think with all the plundering they do, they would have encountered some teddy bears already in their exploits? They're so
Yeah.
fascinated with Michael's bear for some reason.
Yeah, it's like you completely remove the Native American parts of, like, because I guess a lot of people was like, oh, it's actually super racist. It's to Native Americans, is because, like, they do this thing like, I think Peter Pan in the cartoon, she goes, how, right? He does this, like, the dance thing, and he sort of does the dance around with Tiger Lily, and you see Wendy and Tinkerbell also get like fucking jealous of Tiger Lily. Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole romance, that love triangle, not love triangle, love box, love square, whatever it is, that thing is gone. There's nothing
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like, basically, yeah, Peter Pan needed saving. Like, Peter Pan was about to get slashed, right? And all of a sudden, fucking Wendy shows up and saves him. I'm like, of fucking course, man. Because Peter Pan is supposed to be smart and witty, and he could outsmart Hook. That was a cartoon, right? He's supposed to be smart and witty, and he can outsmart him. He does a lot of hijinks and stuff like that. But no, in this one, he's stupid. He's incompetent. He needs like fucking two girls to save him. And another thing is, Captain Hook was the original Lost Boy.
Yeah. So Peter Pan's the bad guy. So
Yeah.
so the ambiguous parts in the animated series, they decided to insert it to even bring down Peter Pan further, as if he's not bad enough already. So what happens was, the reason why Captain Hook is so angry at Peter Pan is because he was the first lost boy. So yeah, he was at Neverland. He never grew old. But then there came a point that he missed his mother. So Peter Pan didn't want him to go. He didn't want him to grow up. So apart from exiling Captain Hook, he was the one responsible for chopping off his hand and feeding the hand to the crocodile.
Yep. He's basically the bad guy.
The bad guy.
Yeah. So yeah, Peter Pan is literally a villain,
Mhm.
right? And then at the end, it was like, oh, I'm not gonna, like, like, I'm not gonna kill you anymore and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm just like, oh God, he's such a terribly written character. And yeah, you're like, you can just make Captain Hook like Captain Hook. He's just a bad guy. You
Yeah.
don't have to make him like, you don't have to fucking simp for him just because he's Jude Law. Like, who
Yeah.
fucking cares? He's a bad guy,
Yeah.
right? And what's it called again? I think it's it's just really terribly written. Like, I think if they had a better script and a better story, and didn't fuck with the original lore, I think people wouldn't have an issue with the race swapping. Like, if the
Yeah.
story is like, okay, this actually makes sense. They
Yeah.
actually follow the story and the lore. No one would have said anything, right?
Yeah. The ending is like, I don't. They had the audacity to sequel bait it. It's like,
Oh yeah,
when Peter Pan came back to Neverland and Captain Hook was smiling at him. Like, why are you smiling at him? He's the one. He's literally the dude who ruined your life, man.
yeah,
Why are you? Why he came back to rescue you? Like, rescue you after literally ruining your life? It's like,
yeah. And the reason why your hand is gone is
it's
because
because
of
of
me but we're actually friends. Like, what is Neverland going to be without us fighting? What's Neverland going to be without Hook fighting against Peter Pan? Right? It's like, fuck you. It's like so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, FemPower updated it for the world we live in today and made it so much better. Wonderful. No, there's no agenda. Have no idea what people are talking about. It's a conspiracy theory. Yep. Basically, yeah. Basically, what we're talking about is, we're basically
Yeah.
bigoted
Yeah.
assholes, right? We're basically
We're
just mad.
exaggerating it
Yeah.
or making it
Yeah.
up.
It's literally what's it? An hour and 40 minutes. I will never get back. It is it's pretty bad. When I say bad, it's really bad in my opinion. I have a feeling that it's like, oh, you want to see Peter Pan, you want to meet Peter Pan at Disneyland? Here's the Indian version of him. Because they are already doing that with a Little Mermaid. Oh, for a limited time when the movie is out at the end of May, there's gonna be a black Little Mermaid. There's gonna be a black Ariel at Disneyland and Disney World. Go check her out. It's like, okay, and like I said, these live action adaptations need to stop. It needs
Yeah.
to stop. It's all trash. But you said that you're gonna watch Little Mermaid, right, Grae?
It comes out earlier here too. It's like it comes out May 24th. I think it comes
Mhm.
out for May 26th for you. It comes I can. I can if but I'm not sure if I want to.
Well, they're changing everything, right? Like the kiss
Yeah.
the girl that I believe that song. They said that they changed the lyrics to be more modern, up to date with
Mhm,
modern standards.
mhm,
A Little Mermaid and Ariel, she's not gonna go to the surface for a boy anymore. Like, even though the original fucking story was she wanted to be a part of the people, not just for a boy. It just so happens that there's a boy there. I'm not sure. Maybe she's like, oh, the reason why I want to go to the surface because I want to hang out with the dog you have,
mhm.
right? And you're not even including a lot of the pieces of shit, like Flounder looks like a fucking like tilapia, and Scuttle looks like a piece of shit, piece of shit bird, and then like
It's Sebastian.
Sebastian doesn't just looks like a regular crab.
Yeah.
I
Something like you see in a Chinese restaurant in the aquarium.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I'm not looking forward to any of it. I'm we're doing this for you, chat, watching this terrible shit for you guys. But it's I don't know. I'm done talking about about it. But were you like very mad? Like, because your video it's like literally like, yeah, this is
Y-
really good. Yeah,
y-
it's really good.
Yeah. I the moment I heard that so from the trailer, it's like this is the video I wanted to make. This, the video full of absolute sarcasm.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, the video is funny. I really enjoyed it. All right. Do you have anything else you want to bring up? You want to what else are you doing? Are you like going live later on Twitch or anything like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I'll probably have lunch. Then I'll probably go live on my Twitch because yeah, I'm gonna continue with Stranger Paradise. So I don't I don't know if chat's playing Stranger Paradise, but yeah, if someone wants to play with me there, I'm gonna play multiplayer.
Mhm.
Then I should start making the video. Then I'll start with Near Replicant for sure.
All
So
right,
you can
cool.
follow me on Grey Blade. It's the links are in the description below.
All right. And you can follow me now everywhere at Mr. Philip Chan. Twitter, MySpace, Zynga, what's like a Friendster, ICQ, like all the AIM. You can find me everywhere at Mr. Philip Chan. Yeah, like I said, everything should be in the description to go below. And you guys haven't already done so, please go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. You'll know next time when we go live. We also have merch down below. I didn't do a grift today, so because we want to talk. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but our merch link is below, so go ahead and check that out if you guys want some Eggroll merch. If you want more stuff that you want us to put out, just let us know. I'll go ahead and see if I can make a design for it. And we will be back next Saturday. We'll be back next Saturday. We'll continue doing our stuff. We'll continue our podcast. We will be putting out videos throughout the week. Most of the videos that are going to be putting out during the week will be segmented versions of the live stream. So it'll be smaller bite-sized stuff so you guys can consume that. We are actually I believe more than halfway to watch hours for monetization. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be pretty cool. So we will have some membership stuff. We might have some membership
Yeah.
only streams or something like that.
It-
And yeah.
I think
Also,
it's.
Grae. Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead, go
it's
ahead.
not. It's. I. I think it's not unrealistic anymore that we'll make it by around my birthday, which is around July 15th.
Well, hopefully. But
Yeah,
but
given our pacing, but yeah, hopefully.
but yeah, what's it called again? I believe we are also getting some stuff out too. I believe we're gonna see if we can put out some videos on like anime and stuff like that to see how that goes, and it should be pretty fun. And anything else, Grae?
Yeah, I'll try within next week to so I'll be watching Super Mario 1993 blind.
Yes.
I have no idea what's I'm gonna get into, but okay, whatever comes out of it, I'll make a video out of it. Then
Also,
yeah,
Grae, you also need to watch Fifth Element. The Fifth
Fifth
Element
Element.
with Bruce Willis and Mila
Oh,
Jovovich. It's really good. And you
okay.
remember when we went to the meetup and I pointed it out? Do you know what that tablet is? You're like, no.
Ah,
And
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's from the
yeah,
Fifth
yeah. Right.
Element. Go watch it. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, if you want, go ahead and watch it. You don't have to make a video about it or anything like that. It's terrible but amazing. Yes, it's sort of bad, but it's also very good. Yeah, Phillip Element.
Okay.
Yeah, Phillip Element's really good. Yeah, I would watch that. I will also watch Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest is really good. It has Alan Rickman in it and Tim Allen and Sigourney Weaver. So that's going to be pretty awesome. So if you can watch that, like I said, you don't have to make a video about it. If you want to, you can. But do definitely make a video on the Mario 1993 one. That's going to be fun.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Hope you guys had an incredible night.
Thank
We
you.
definitely had a lot of you guys hanging out. I know that Epic Mike came in earlier along with Jay and X-Wing. And that's actually really, really cool. Thank you guys so much. We will be back next week. We're going to continue our stuff. We're going to chug along. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for getting us to 100 likes. That's actually really freaking awesome of you guys. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for hanging out this long. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.